Jack.
Enosh. Yes, Enosh, I promise I will clean up Jivin with Jack. I promise I will. Oh, Enosh, I'm going through a tunnel. Oh, I gotta go, Enosh. Oh, it's a tunnel. I can't drive. Whew.
Yeah, Miss Selena Gomez gets what Miss Selena Gomez wants. You're my favorite client. Jackie, baby, my favorite client.
Fabian, my agent. Listen, were you able to secure some famous celebrities for Jivin with Jack?
Of course I was.
Yes, that's why you're the best.
Here's the list.
There you go.
So we got Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly.
And Donald Trump.
Trump is going to do my show?
Well, you'll have to provide your birth certificate first. But once you do that, we'll do your show.
Fabian, call Montgomery County and get my birth certificate. Donald Trump has come to Jivin with Jack.
Get ready, get jivin'.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen and genders all across the spectrum, to episode 8 of Jivin' with Jack here on the Poindexter Lounge as part of the Poindexter Pantheon. I apologize. I have been MIA. I had the small procedure done, and I didn't realize how much lidocaine, Percocet, and Xanax I would be on. And I refused to do Jivin' with Jack on Percocet, except one time, because I didn't know how strong Percocet was. Check it out. It was a funny episode. But I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. I want to thank Austin and Caden and Bradley for filling in. I wanted to apologize to any of you for not seeing me. I know that you have not been able to sleep for nearly 2 weeks, but that's okay. I'm here now. Welcome, everyone. Look, I'm sitting in my chair on Percocet, and all of a sudden my YouTube is filled with Snyderverse is getting restored. Snyderverse, it's happening. War Stew, people who I used to follow before, putting videos up. I'm like, whoa, what happened? Wait, what would happen? Grace Randolph tweeted something. I know this has been going on for about 2 weeks, but I'm here to kind of put a little bit of ice on that. Look, you know me. I want it restored as much as anyone else, but I think it's wrong to give false hope, and I think a lot of people are reading into things that aren't there. Plus, Miss Marvel trailer came out, and she is a Paisano. She is a Pakistani, and it looks okay. It looks like a very family-friendly show. We'll get into that. Plus, it turns out Ben Affleck may not be done with Batman. I know, again, people see that as a sign, and we're going to connect that to a Snyderverse talk, but whatever. Jussie SMollet is out of jail, and we're going to get into that. I'm starting to understand after I saw his outburst in court why he did not want to rest on his acting laurels to get him ahead, because he is not a very good actor, unfortunately. I haven't seen Empire based on that performance in the court. And Kanye West has a video, where he buries, Pete Davidson. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I think he's burying himself right now. But we have a lot to talk about. So why don't I bring in my co-host, you could say the Jivin in Jivin with Jack. Ladies and gentlemen, Austin Lean 316.
I have returned. I'm here.
There we go.
I have returned. I got a little sick too, and just kind of been out of it last couple days and stuff. So I'm with you there, man. I've been sleeping.
You know what? Ever
Trying
since I had this procedure, so they had to shave my head back to get into my head. So
Really?
my
I
hair's
couldn't
gonna
tell.
look like that. Yeah, it's gonna look kind of weird for a while, but that's okay. That's okay.
No, it looks good, man. It looks good.
I wore a beanie on Saturday night, and I had to drop out because I didn't take Perk. I took another painkiller, but I felt a kick, and I'm like, I'm not gonna have a repeat of. If you guys don't know the Percocet story on Jivin with Jack, it was pure innocence, and coincidentally, Enosh happened to be on while we were on another channel. But that's a hilarious story. Plus, today's an important day. Do you know what today is?
Yes, it is St. Patrick's Day.
No, it is the day before my birthday. That's right, folks. My birthday is tomorrow. Are you coming tomorrow?
Is it St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, today is St. Patrick's Day.
It is, right? Okay,
Yeah,
it is St. Patrick's Day.
It is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all the Irish. Austin, I understand you have a little bit of Irish in you.
I do have a bit of the look at the I'm wearing green.
It's not green.
All right, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to determine right now. Are these
Yeah,
green?
Those are green.
Those are green.
Yeah.
They're green. I got
And,
pinched unnecessarily, people.
You know what? I usually normally would drink alcohol, but tomorrow night is the first time I'm doing my birthday in 3 years. Because last year, when the Snyder Cut came out, I got COVID. Avoided it for a year, and I got COVID. My family got COVID. So my birthday, we were all locked down in the house watching the Snyder Cut on repeat. Came out a year ago tomorrow. The year before that is when the lockdown started. So no birthday in 2 years, 3 years. So going back to 2019 was the last time I did my birthday. So I'm doing a huge thing. If anyone's in the Philly area, just message me. We're going to be out downtown, and we're going to get verschnicket, as they say. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done anything for my birthday in a couple of years either. I'm turning 25 this year, so I might do something.
That's a big one. My 25th was huge.
So you say that's a big one. I look at it as like pure anxiety. I'm halfway to 30. I'm going to be 30 years old in 5 years.
No, you were halfway to 30 when you were 15.
Okay, well, I'm 5 years from 30, which is even worse. It's even worse.
Yeah.
And apparently, as I got older, I got dumber because I can't act.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I remember so what I used to do is, guys, check this out. I used to make St. Patrick's Day and my birthday into one thing. So we do a pub crawl starting at 9 a.m.
Oh my God.
Downtown, and we would be out till 2 a.m. I don't think I could do that anymore. In fact, I'm not even drinking any alcohol today because tomorrow my body's gonna be like, oh my God. Like as you get older, your tolerance for hangovers and alcohol is gonna be like, oh, I drank too much yesterday. I can't drink for another 2 weeks.
Right,
but
that's me now, dude. That's not like it's not even taken till
and Caden's gonna be turning 20.
What?
Yeah. Do you want to bring Caden in? Nah, let's leave him out. We'll bring him in later.
Nah.
We'll bring Caden in later. But yeah, Caden's gonna be turning 20. But yeah, no, it's I want to thank you for filling in for doing the show.
The one time,
and Bradley, I want to thank Bradley as well, who filled in. But yeah, we got some cool celebrities who have the only celebrities, I don't know if you saw the opening skit, who want to come on Jivin with Jack are kind of, well, questionable at best, folks. Kevin Spacey, Bill Cosby. Speaking of Bill Cosby, I saw that Showtime thing. We got to talk about Cosby. Ooh.
You know what? I did hear about, I think I didn't see the trailer or anything, but I did. Is there a trailer? I didn't know.
Yeah, well, it came out on Showtime. Like all the episodes are already on. So I binge watched it in a day. And like, you know, you hear the stories in the news, but when you hear the people talk about it, it's like, oh, it hurts. Because I grew up watching Bill Cosby. It's so hard. You're like, damn, man. He's been doing this since the 60s. But anyway, let's start on a positive note. Let's say hi to everyone. Oh, Jivin with Jack is here. There we go. Anthony Beltray, my dear friend, is always here. Oh, Erin Pritchard. How did she know my birthday's tomorrow? She wrote that before I said it. I don't know. Maybe it's on. You know what? It's on Twitter. It's on Twitter that my birthday's tomorrow. You Do Suck is here. Hello. Music Man is here. There he is. Cylon Scotty is here to tell us that he's not going to be here, but I appreciate the effort. Perks are fun. Wow, so you're Catholic. Yes. I don't think I've ever mentioned that on the show, but yes, I am. People were reading into things before Zach said. That's true. That is absolutely true. We'll get into it. We'll talk a little bit about some of the rumors and stuff. I know you probably talked to death about it. The widow says, hey. And to that we say,
what's up, Ashley?
It's
good to see
look at it. Austin's like, I know their real name's Jack. That's Ashley. Hi, Ashley. Now I know your name, too. Jivin and Thrivin, Sheriff in Town. You know, we had to do intramural sports in high school. We were forced to, so our team was called the Deputy Sheriffs.
Really?
my last name.
The deputy sheriff, huh?
Deputy sheriffs, yeah.
God.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did. That's right when I was on PCC. I'm not watching any more of these. Yeah. I mean, look, this was really hard to watch, especially because like with R. Kelly, like it was awful, but I was never a huge R. Kelly fan. R. Kelly's persona wasn't this like good man who did good things, but like Bill Cosby was like, oh no. And when you hear the details and like the lurid details, it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Is that the Batman behind Austin?
Yes, that is Catwoman from the Batman.
Ooh,
and then
nice.
Somewhere around here, I have. Thank you, baby. I got this one too.
Ooh, nice.
This is Bradley's. He got the cool one. But it's from that Little Caesars pizza calzone thingy. Oh, and I'll tell you what the really cool thing I was super excited about. When you went and saw the movie in IMAX, the special like Tuesday screening, they gave you the Batman Long Halloween issue 1 comic, and it's the cover is all from the Batman movie.
Oh,
yeah.
I just saw the Long Halloweens part 1 and 2 on HBO Max last weekend.
Great.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was pretty good. I liked it a lot. Let's talk about the Batman for a second. It looks like it's going to cross. I think it already, in fact, while I was making the show, I think it actually crossed 500 million.
Oh, wow.
At the box office. Yeah, right. I mean,
I know it recently crossed 300.
Now, some people are putting cold water like, oh, the box office projections for China look very disappointing. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, first of all, it doesn't matter if it does well in China for me. I really don't care if it does well in China. But this is a really good sign because I think DC is on so if it looked like DC was about to go off the rails, it's still on the rails, but it's shaking. But at least it looks like it's kind of on something of a track, and I'm kind of okay with that. I'm happy with that. I saw the movie, but I never gave my review. I liked the movie a lot. It was everything I kind of wanted from a comic book movie in the last year. Something a little more serious, something a little bit cerebral. The villains were scary. The Penguin is not a nice guy. I mean, he literally was involved with the murder of a young woman, and he kind of gets away with it. And I don't know in case anyone hasn't seen it, but like I liked it a lot, and I cannot wait for the next film. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I want more movies like that. I still want my happy-go-lucky Marvel movies, but I would like some more intense movies. Where things don't look good and the hero really has to do that Joseph Campbell, hero's journey. But
yeah, no, I agree. I think obviously it was a bit of a slow burn, right? But it was, Batman like we've never seen him before. You
know what? I like that. Some people complained there weren't that many action sequences. I'm like, I'm fine with that. If you go back and watch The Dark Knight, you have like 2 opening sequences in like the first half hour, and there's like a good 40 minutes before that famous Joker chase scene, where Batman captures him in the trip. There's a lot in there. And sometimes, and I said the same thing about Civil War, people are like, oh, Civil War is not that great except the airport scene. I'm like, you have to kind of watch the dialogue. There's some good dialogue, some good back and forth, some good acting that people kind of ignore. They're just waiting for the boom, boom explosions.
Absolutely. And that was the thing, right, is that I did feel it was a little slow in certain parts.
Yeah. It could have been trimmed down by a good 15, 20 minutes, I think, and still maintain the same movie.
I agree. I agree. I think it still could have been just as good. I think the main thing for me was, like I said, seeing this is probably the most faithful, Batman adaptation of comics, that I've seen yet. I mean, we were watching a video earlier. And this guy was talking about, Zack Snyder took inspiration, right, from the Dark Knight Returns and stuff, but you never saw that storyline play out in the Batman. You see the Falcone storyline, you see the Catwoman storyline, you see a lot of stuff. I love the narration, right? It starts, it's Halloween, and so there's just a lot of things for me in this Batman movie that where it just hit all the right notes. It was like, this is what I want my Batman. I know a lot of people may not like the whole emo kind of self-preserved.
I had issues with his Bruce Wayne, but I still liked him.
Well, look, but and at the same time, right? It's by the end of the movie, he's more of that type of Bruce Wayne that we know of. But he's, I mean, that's the thing for me is that I don't have to wait till the next movie to see the Batman, to see the Bruce Wayne that I want to see. I got it at the end of this movie. And so for the most part, I got the Batman I wanted to see at the end of this movie.
Bruce.
Yeah, not Bruce actually. Now that I think about it, we didn't get any more Bruce after a little bit, but I got the Batman I wanted. You know, him.
Get the Bruce we want by the end of the trilogy, I think.
Yeah,
there we go.
But
no, it was a really good movie. I love the way Gotham looked. I mean, I don't know how they did it. I know they showed how they did it, but like, I liked how it didn't really like. Sometimes it kind of looks like New York City, but they didn't film in New York City. They're kind of like taking inspiration from it. The Gothic architecture, which we really haven't seen since like the Tim Burton movies, and of course back then they were using like matte paintings, you know, giving you the Gothic architecture. Here's a modern city that looks like it's 80 years old. You know,
right.
I wasn't 100% sold on Pattinson yet, but I still think he was phenomenal. If that makes sense, like I think he did a great job. Dana was great.
Yeah, no, I was sold on Pattinson.
You were sold on him. I can't wait to buy the movie because my dad, unfortunately, he has a hearing thing. So even in IMAX, when you have like Paul Dano talking like this, it's hard to hear for him. So I'm gonna, as soon as it comes on 4K or digital, I think Spider-Man's out digitally. I'm definitely gonna have him rewatch it. But yeah, you know what I think might have been the greatest performance, just because of how much he got lost in it. I thought the Penguin was phenomenal. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, we talked about this movie 2 weeks ago."
I think Penguin. I think, and I do like. After seeing it for the second time too, I really love the Riddler.
Yeah,
I think the Riddler was absolutely phenomenal.
And I hope he comes back. I hope this is not just like, oh, he's only in this movie and that's it. No, he needs to come back.
Yeah,
in some way, shape, or form. And I hope, you know what? I don't know if Pattinson's up for it. I don't know if Matt Reeves is up for it. I mean, why hold yourself to 3 stories? Granted, they want to do other movies, but there are so many stories to tell of Batman in this world. I mean, just the way they did the Riddler. Imagine how they would do Killer Croc. You know, I'm kind of, because I could see Killer Croc in this world.
That would really
the interpretation of Killer Croc or Clayface. You know, I'm like
Killer Croc, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could see that version, like maybe more like the Suicide Squad version with someone with just really messed up hair or messed up face, rather than the actual Crocodile Man. I could see that in this, like, or an interpretation of that. You know, totally, yeah. It's grimy, it's disgusting. Can you imagine what the sewers of Gotham are like? Ugh. You know, I like that. You know,
I don't know. I honestly couldn't see Killer Croc in this world. You know, I can see someone like Mr. Freeze. I can see, you know, I think they're going to do some more grounded characters, but still have fun with the Joker and Freeze and all of that.
You know what? That was one cameo that I don't think I needed. I know they had to set that up, but like,
but here's the thing. I don't know if you've seen the interviews, because I disagree. That I do think that scene was needed. I think, but the whole thing was right. Matt Reeves described it as that scene. Yes, it has the Joker. And it is, you know, it's a dual thing, right? It teases, but at the same time, that's wrapping up Riddler's story for this movie.
Okay,
that is the, you know, because he's failed.
Yeah,
you see him now that that Batman, you know, got to it and all that, and now the Riddler is in disarray because of it, and so
yeah. No, I meant more so like, did it have to be the Joker? Because honestly, and I'll say this, I love the Joker, but I'd be okay if Matt Reeves doesn't even touch the Joker. I'd like him to see like Justice League down for a live action Clayface, or even some of the other villains, you know, in the gallery that we don't get to see on film, you know. And we've seen like 3 Jokers in the last 13 years, and all of them did their own thing with it. Part of me is like, you know, like to see this Batman, Court of Owls, you know, maybe do some other stuff, do the other Rogues Gallery, like, you know, we haven't seen the Penguin since '92. That was kind of cool to see the way they did the Penguin. You know, Falcone was probably the best Falcone, I think.
Right.
Although the one in Gotham was pretty good. Well, they gave him a show, so like he could, you know, they could flesh out that one. Ventriloquist, yeah. Why not?
No.
Is Ventriloquist the guy who has Scarface or whatever, or is that someone else?
No, I don't think so.
That's the guy. Who's the guy with the puppet? And the puppet like
The ventriloquist
That is
is the
ventriloquist.
one with
Yeah.
Scarface, the puppet. Yes.
Okay, so that's the same guy. All right. How about the Calendar Man?
I love Calendar Man. What was it? The pig? What's the series? The Pig Man?
Professor
Mr. Pig. I'd love to see Mr. Pig.
Yeah. Or even the Allison. Who's the guy? Got the Mad Hatter. I can see them doing a version of the Mad Hatter in this Gotham. You know, maybe not as a main villain, but like.
But here's the thing, going back to the Joker, because me and Bradley had this conversation the other day, and that was like, as much as, you know, it's a nice idea to like have Matt Reeves like not use the Joker at all, and let's have a Batman universe of no Joker at all. But at the end of the day, like,
you kind of have to.
There's no Batman without Joker.
Yeah.
Those two they're both so psychotic in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
You know, and they feed off of each other, and so it's really, you know, it's why Batman never kills the Joker. It's why right. It's this symbiotic relationship that, you know, it's weird because it's like but I like how Matt Reeves seems to be including Joker in this universe, where he's not the main antagonist, but he's more of the guy pulling the strings. The way he even talks to Riddler and stuff, and is like, "Hey, you need a friend." Like,
he's the catalyst.
That team up, but and that type of like, he may be the main guy behind the scenes, not in front of the scenes this time. I think that would be really cool.
I think he's like the catalyst of the guy who makes all like Riddler become the boulder cap Riddler that we know, the one that, like, as we see in the scene, he says, "Riddle me this." Like, he's the one that inspires Riddler and makes Riddler go crazier and crazier and crazier and become this eccentric Riddler that's like Kane.
Well, I think Riddler's. I mean, look, so much of this movie drew from two things: the Long Halloween comic, the actual comic, right? The relationship between Batman and Catwoman, that whole relation, that back and forth, where it's not. He very much sympathizes with her. He allows her to just kind of do things. I mean. He doesn't chase her after she almost throws a guy off that, you know, 40-story building or whatever and all that. He lets her do her thing. You know, the Falcone storyline, like I said, but there's a lot of stuff.
Even the Telltale. Did you ever play the Batman Telltales?
Screw that. I hate those stupid games. They really
took a lot from that, especially the whole
they took a lot from Arkham, dude. They took a lot from the Arkham games. And one big thing that I felt like was teased was, what I love about the Arkham games is Riddler's arc in the Arkham games is kind of similar to this movie, right? He's toying with Batman throughout the city. He's doing these different things, but at the same time, in the games, Riddler does team up with some of the other villains.
Yeah, but
that's Riddler and Joker have this relationship, both in the comics and the games, where Riddler thinks, Riddler's mindset is already, I'm 10 times smarter than the Joker.
Yeah.
So I'll team up with you, and I'll figure out if you're gonna, you know, stab me in the back way before you do. And then when he gets stabbed in the back, Riddler's pissed off at Joker, and then they have this back, and so Riddler and Joker have a relationship in the comics and the games. That felt like that could be a very fun, you know, relationship to see in these movies as well.
Yeah.
Do you guys also realize that Riddler's plan was the Great Flood with like basically Noah and him and Batman being Noah? Arkham, that whole thing.
Yeah, totally. The whole idea of using a flood to wipe out humanity. I mean, it's in Gilgamesh. It's in it's obviously the most famous one is Noah, but the idea of using kind of like water to cleanse everything, you know, to wash everything down. I really like that. And John Turturro, by the way, I really like the way he did Falcone. It was kind of like, you know, understated, you know, it's kind of understated. Like, you know, your father saved my life when you were watching as a little, you know, it's not like to like, I don't know if you like in Batman Begins, the way they do Falcone and that one. I think Tom Wilkinson is a great actor, but he was like, now you think because your mommy and your daddy got shot, you deserve some empathy. Yeah, you know, he's talking a little bit. You remember Batman Begins, the way they did Falcone? And I was a little too like, okay, you're trying a little too hard to sound like a mobster. Like, but John Turturro, like very subdued, kind of quiet, you know, Hippocratic oath. That's good. That's good. And he just kind of walks off, you know. Yeah, Ra's al Ghul. I don't know if we can do Ra's al Ghul. Do you think we could do a good Ra's al Ghul, like an actual?
I think.
Well,
Well, I think if we're gonna get Ra's al Ghul, we're gonna get a way more faithful version to the comics, right? Than we did with Batman Begins and the Dark Knight trilogy. Whereas, I think we will see stuff like the Lazarus Pit. We will see things like, the Court of Owls and his hand and all that. We'll see Talia. We'll see. Again, I feel like they're taking a lot of that type of stuff from the Arkham games. The villain stuff feels like this great mix of the comics and the Arkham games. And I know Matt has already talked about that the next movie might include the Court of Owls to a certain extent. So yeah, exactly. There's no DA, so Harvey Dent.
And the thing is, what Harvey is perfect for Bella Real's mayor. And because Bella Real's about re-evolutionizing Gotham and making it better for the better future of Gotham, and Harvey is about making sure the dirt is out and new clean energies in and stuff like that. So they're perfect match for each other, and I think that would be a really cool to see Harvey and Bella Real and Bruce Wayne and Gordon all riff off of each other, and Batman involved as well, all that stuff. It'd be really cool to see that. An actual proper way to.
I'm waiting for the day. It might be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, where they do an actual live-action Batman show. Then you could do these stories so well. You could have Harvey Dent as DA for 3 seasons before you do the Two-Face story. It almost feels like the movies aren't enough.
I do hope that they do at least one. I think he might show up in the Penguin show, because obviously I think the Penguin show with of course the finale of Falcone's character in the movie, it leads open doors. We know that Sal Maroni's in jail. Sal Maroni might be wanting to reopen his trial in Gotham, and they need a DA to handle that trial, and Harvey Dent is the newest DA, so that might, but at the same time, that will fast track his story because Sal Maroni's the one that creates Two-Face with Harvey Dent, so that might fast track that story. But I hope they don't. I hope they do at least a show and a movie with him, or 2 movies with Harvey Dent just being Harvey Dent, and then finally doing the acid throw, and that acid may be something connected to the drops or something. Who knows? Because I think honestly the drops might be connected to a lot of these things, because they don't just.
Okay, yeah, totally. Do you think we could possibly see beyond 3 movies? Let's say he does his trilogy, fine, but then say, hey, we'll keep making more. Let's get another director or someone that Matt, with, kind of like Bonds, and let's just going. How would you feel about that, guys?
I actually do want more than just a trilogy. I want I know that each movie gets 2 or 3 spin-offs, and that's cool and everything. But I feel even there should be at least 2 trilogies.
Oh yeah, that's what I want for Spider-Man. I feel like Spider-Man became the Spider-Man. Spider, he's a superhero.
Are you glitching? Is he glitching in and out?
For me too.
Okay, you're glitching in and out.
All right, you 2 carry. Did you hear me? I'll be right back.
Yeah, go.
My internet.
Let's say Caden. Let's go through the comments real quick, because I can't bring them up because I'm not. I can't log in for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, let's see. And then anything else said? Also, don't forget Oscar Isaac met with Warner Brothers about the Batman in 2018, so he could be Harvey Dent in the next Batman.
I could very much see him as Harvey Dent.
I have a couple good options. I have a couple good names that I think can be Harvey Dent. You have Oscar Isaac, Oliver Jackson Cohen, John Berthnall. Damn it, I'm forgetting the other 2. But those the top 3 I can get off the top of my head right now. So yeah.
I think Oscar Isaac would be great. Music Man says the Batman should be a saga, and I agree with that. I think that would be awesome.
Oh yeah. I think it should be more than just.
Who else?
Yeah.
Who else? Bradley.
Why does it always have to be a big name actor? Why does it always have to be the big?
Well, Oliver Jackson Cohen isn't really a big name actor. Neither is John.
Gets tons of roles. what's going on with these actors.
I will say Oscar Isaac has gotten way too many like at this point I'm done with seeing Oscar Isaac. He was Apocalypse, he's Moon Knight now, like he's all right, chill, Oscar. But
yeah,
I think I want to see a big name for Harvey Dent because Aaron Eckhart wasn't big when he was Harvey.
It's been big for a while.
And Billy D. Williams is big when he was cast as Harvey Dent.
Oh, definitely.
It's Harvey Dent is one of those big name roles.
He was, but he's not. He wasn't like I would like to see a big name.
Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't mind because I'm trying to think. Colin
because
Farrell
Billy D. Williams
biggest name in the Batman franchise.
People always think the first pick they always pick for a role is always the big guy right now, the it guy right now. When people don't,
then give me a no-name actor that is in the series right now that you want.
Look, if you know an unknown actor comes in and gives a great performance and stuff, or you know a lesser known or somebody, I'm all good with that as long as the performance is good.
There's lots of young talent right now that's not being utilized.
I will say though, I like Oscar Isaac as an actor. I do.
What about John David Washington?
Who?
John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son.
He
was in Tenet. He was in Black Klansman.
For Harvey.
You're proving my point. You're proving.
He's not a big actor. He's not a big actor. He's only been like two big and like one big.
Look, if you're the main lead in a Christopher Nolan movie, you're a big actor now. I'm not
big anyway. He's Denzel Washington.
Yeah, and he's Denzel Washington's son. Like his last name is Washington. You think he walks into an audition room and people are like, no. You know why? Because your dad is Denzel freaking Washington.
I think that's why he hasn't gotten so many auditions because they're like, we don't want to risk it.
Right.
But I'm sure also, at the same time, I'm sure Denzel was like probably.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't mind a young
Matt Bomber for Two-Face. There you go.
That's still a big name. He's doing Doom Patrol right now.
Matt Bomber's a big name.
Yeah, he's a pretty big name.
I wouldn't mind.
Huge.
I wouldn't mind
He's
Matt
doing,
Bomber actually.
But he's doing Doom Patrol right now.
I wouldn't mind that. He would have to.
Doom Patrol.
Yep, he would have to.
He's good looking. He can be Two-Face.
He would have to Yeah, I know you have a crush on Matt Bomber. Okay.
I love White Collar, baby.
I know. I get it. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Me forever trying to be Matt Bomber. But I'm well aware. But Daniel Radcliffe as Harvey Dent, absolutely the fuck not. I'm sorry, Monkey Jesus. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. I'll be honest with you. I don't even really like Daniel Radclliff that much. So
have you even seen any of his movies?
Well,
I'm back.
He did say that he wasn't going to do any more Harry Potter things.
I'm back.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he's good at it. But see, I have not seen any of the Harry Potter movies.
That's okay.
Oh, I watched them for the first time during lockdown. They're okay. I enjoyed them for what they were.
You watched them during lockdown, really?
Yeah, they were on HBO or something. We went through all of them. I'd seen the first one when it came out, but like
thank you, baby. I appreciate it.
Not just this, but some other stuff.
Oh, okay. Let me know. Or send it to me too. Speaking of Harry Potter, State of Play is on right now. PlayStation.
Oh yeah, for the Hogwarts.
They're talking about Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And so that's gonna be like Jimbo. What, Austin? Okay, here's something interesting.
Thank God.
Daniel Radcliffe just said this. This is like right now. He's not really interested in returning for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child film.
Thank you, God.
I'm never going to say never, but the Star Wars guys had like 30, 40 years before they went back.
Yeah. Is he still doing stuff? I have no idea.
He's playing Weird Al.
That's right.
In a biopic of Weird Al. That's
biopic.
Which he rapped like 5 days before the actual rap.
Weird Al. They should have gotten Weird Al.
You know what's?
I know.
He had a thing.
So weird.
So he would only do a movie every 20-something years. The last movie was UHF, and that was 20-something years ago.
Oh yeah, he's in also.
That was around the time he could be doing a movie.
He's in The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum and Brad Pitt.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is in
He plays
that.
the villain.
Yeah,
City with Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, and
Oh,
Brad
is
Pitt?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays the villain.
Well, Bradley wanted to see that
I wanna
anyways,
see it anyway.
so we were going to see it anyway. So it works out. But no, I've never seen the Harry Potter movies. I'm not a fan of. I'll tell you what, the best
you
Daniel
haven't?
Radcliffe performance I've ever seen was Swiss Army Man with him and Paul Dano.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It is a really.
I think when Harry
off-the-wall
Potter
movie.
came out, did your parents go through a whole like you grew up Christian like, oh, don't watch Harry Potter, it's evil, because that
Yes.
was a lot of that going on.
Yes.
Like you're watching, it's got magic in it. I'm like, oh my god. But then
Oh,
Lord
my
of the
mom
Rings,
thought
is
Lord
fine.
of the Rings was evil until she saw it at the Family Christian Bookstore, and then she was like, "Oh, they're selling it here. It's fine."
So I realized why my thing was glitching. Before I started the show, I was converting a new trailer, and that was exporting and it was slowing down my RAM, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell? Okay, let me finish that." And as soon as I export it, that's fine. So, listen, I want to get into this. Did you guys talk about it all about the Snyderverse stuff last week? Of all that supposed Grace Randolph stuff, you guys didn't talk about it. Are you being sarcastic right now?
No, I don't want to talk about
like
it.
I said, probably the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I personally have pretty much taken off streaming.
Okay.
I think I made Face last night on Max's stream, and I think I saw me and you were on H-Bart's thing for a little bit.
You know who Daniel Day Kim is?
Ooh,
That would work.
That would be cool. But
Especially now with more Korean dramas becoming prevalent in the West. He would be a great actor. He can play that kind of character. He had a small role in 24 where he played the head of CTU SWAT.
I think he's playing Fire Lord Ozai in the new live action adaptation of Avatar.
I like it.
He because he was only filming that one scene when he scars Zuko.
I think this was a very good choice.
All right. So let's do this. Let's reset. We're going to talk a little bit Snyderverse, which I know on this channel we've never done that before. So it's going to be something new, talking about the Snyderverse and all this. So let's get to it. Meanwhile, here's a word from our sponsor.
It's finally here. New voices, new faces. Welcome to the Pantheon.
That's
Wow.
pretty cool. Did you make that, Jack?
Yes, I showed it to you weeks ago. I just didn't have a fifth show. I was trying to show it to you. Remember the one time I'm putting this little ad together and
Wow.
this spot was supposed to be Enosh's collectible show, but as soon as I said, Mac, give me a thumbnail and I'll add an effect to it or something, and so he sent that to me.
Good,
So,
man.
yeah.
That's really
I
good.
figured
I like
we
that.
keep playing that, on your show,
Yeah.
and,
I like that a
all
lot.
that stuff. So as you know, because David Zaslav apparently wants to restore the Snyderverse, that is why he has delayed all these movies a year and a half. And when you say it like that, it sounds kind of ridiculous. But basically, from what I understand,
Well, when you say it like that, you're acting like David Zaslav is in control of Warner Brothers right now.
Exactly. It's Warner Media that's merging. But basically, this is what I've heard. We know it's for special effects, is that they need Lucasfilm and Skywalker Sound to do the special effects. And right now they're in a queue. Disney has all their stuff. This is what I read. That's the rumor. And so Warner Brothers is waiting for them to finish their movies so then they can work on Aquaman. They can work on The Flash. And Shazam apparently is mostly done. That's the real reason. But you guys don't know the truth. The truth is that they're contacting Zack Snyder secretly. And that's what's happening. Caden, your thoughts?
My thought is that you are bullshit. That's bullshit. What the? Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, eat my salad and I hear this stuff. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
like you said, it's the visual effects thing, and also,
Ooh.
that'd be cool. But the thing is this whole delay thing is weird. Like Marvel done it. Everyone has done these delays before. Like Star Wars did it with all their Star Wars movies that they were supposed to come out like every other year or something.
Yeah.
So that's weird. But to me, I think it's like it's a bit confusing because we've been told that. Oh, okay.
Real quick,
real quick.
Austin, did you lose your privileges on the Poindexter Lounge StreamYard?
I think so.
Oh.
No, I don't think. I don't know what happened. I just look. My computer crashed yesterday. I had
from our reset. Yeah, you have to kind of log in all over again. Like
my computer crashed yesterday, and I had to literally. I restored it to factory default.
When you say restore, are you saying something coded about the Snyderverse being restored?
All right, guys, I'll see you later. I'm not.
Look, let's jump down the rabbit hole. Do I think that this is because the Snyderverse is being restored? No. I think it's actually what it is. It's part of it's COVID, things moving back up. Part of it is, I'm not going to deny, maybe the war in Russia affects international economies and stuff like that. I don't think it directly affects us, but things happen. They have a ripple effect.
Okay, but integrity, like you said, what film got delayed the longest? The Flash, yes.
Which
But
they
that
say
was
has
also
the
that
most.
was also the last. But that was also the last film that was supposed to come out anyway, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
Now, the only one that got moved up was Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the only one, so it would make sense that the Flash gets delayed the longest because as of this year, it wasn't going to come out. It was going to be the last DC film to come out this year.
Where's my homegirl? Where is she?
Well, also because it has the same amount of visual effects shots as Zack Snyder's Justice League, and the thing people are like, oh, but he got it done in 3 months. Well, yeah, because it was already done. Some of it was already done. It was already done. It needs like quick reworks and put back the Zack design of Steppenwolf in. Take out the.
But it was still almost a year though, if you think about it, because they announced it May 2020. And I think he started working on it then, and it was almost 10 months. I mean, I don't know if I'm saying he was working on it for 10 months straight, but it was a long time. He's basically doing it by himself, it felt like. He had to pay some people, obviously. But making movies takes a long time. I think if you watch Marvel, Marvel's like a factory. They have everything like already ready, like prepackaged, done. The movies that are coming out in 3 years, we don't know about. They're already working out. That's what it is. Now, let's talk about a homegirl.
Before we go, the thing also about the homegirl, but also what people realize is that the people on the visual effects team for the Flash is the same people on the Zack Snyder's Justice League team, and
I'll tell you this as well, right? The Flash, Caden, correct me if I'm wrong, has it even wrapped?
It wrapped like it. So the main stars wrapped last December. And then they wrapped full-on additional photography last week. Oh,
we lost it. We lost Austin. Usually we lose Austin. He never comes back, but that's okay because I'm here. But look. Here's what's going to happen. They're probably going to do some reshoots for The Flash, but that's common with every single major movie. Yeah. They do reshoots with all things.
Right.
Now, am I surprised there are multiple cuts? No. There are multiple cuts in most movies like this. I'm sure there's a version where, okay, let's have a version where Ben Affleck doesn't die just in case HBO Max wants to do something with him. There's a version where he does die. So, people are going to say, why did Grace Randolph said he was going to die? And then say, what? Because they're probably still ironing out details. And, they're thinking okay, how does Ben Affleck feel? Ben Affleck was like, I want to get killed off. And then he changed his mind. No, keep the door open. But whatever it is, this whole situation, I will admit, gives a tiny bit of hope to the Snyderverse being restored. Just a little bit. I'm saying that's why it was delayed. To answer your question, integrity, if they lie to their investors,
that doesn't make
about why it's being delayed. That's a huge, big no.
Yeah,
that's a crime. You can't lie to your investors like that.
Let's take a second here. Integrity. How long did it take for them to do the VFX for Zack Snyder's Justice League? And that was on a pandemic when these guys didn't have to work. It took them almost a year, Integrity.
Yeah.
Almost a year. And that was during the pandemic when nobody was working.
Yeah.
Now,
I think he only had like 5 people working on it.
Even put out a message the other day saying, I'm really happy Aquaman was delayed because there was no way I was going to get with the amount of special effects and everything that went into that. There was no way he was going to hit that date. Not to mention the Flash is bigger than that as far as, you know, the people involved, the cameos, the story, all of that. So it makes complete sense that it's delayed for those types of reasons and not anything else.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, is it hypothetically possible that when the new people come in, they're like, hey, what were the numbers of that Zack Snyder movie? Oh, wow, okay, they did pretty well. Why don't we just continue that? Okay, well, we'd have to change this in The Flash or this in Aquaman. Okay, right. Possible? Yeah. Likely? I don't know. That's a lot of things that have to happen. To use a line from Star Trek, you have to shoot a bullet with another bullet while blindfolded riding a horse. Is it hypothetically possible? Sure, you can get lucky and do that. But do I still look? I want it back. I would love to see whatever Justice League 2 is with Peacemaker, with Shazam. You know, I would love to see that with a different writer, not Chris Terrio. But I think that'd be a fun movie. I think that'd be a great movie. I would love to see maybe a HBO Max series with Ben Affleck. But here's the thing: Ben himself very emphatically said that he's done kind of with the franchise stuff. He's focusing on making his own movies, doing other type of stuff. And actors mature. You know, they're not crazy about these characters in the way we are. Like, we're like, oh, my God, we have to see this. He's like, yo, I got a family. I'm turning 50 this year. He's 49. He's going to be 50 in August. He wants to make the movies he wants to make. And while his ride with Batman wasn't great, maybe what he's doing in The Flash is a nice send-off. Whether he dies or not, doesn't matter. You know, and then people are like, oh, he's just saying that. Like, it's like a whole conspiracy theory. Like, no, he's just saying that. You know, this whole VFX thing, it's all a lie. You think like thousands of people working on The Flash or Aquaman, one of them won't be like, yo, dude, the movie's pretty much done. I don't know what this whole thing about the VFX needing to be done is. No, it takes years. Movies like, I remember The Phantom Menace back in the day took years to do the VFX for the pod racing scene. Even before they started filming, they had to work on the pod racing scene. Now, that was 20 years ago. But these things take a while to make. You know, Picard season 2, between the pandemic and all the visual effects, took almost 2 years for it to come out. And a movie like The Flash, you want to do it right. If this movie is sort of like a turning point in the DCEU and may establish some new things, it may have to, you know, they're like, let's get it right. They might want to change things in the script. Whatever the final version is, like, we don't like that. Reshoot this scene, reshoot that scene. It happened to Snyder Cut. It happened to, it happens to all these movies. So, Aaron says, I just heard news right now that Amazon is buying MGM.
Yeah, for $8.5 million. They just merged today.
Oh, wow. 8.5.
Yeah, no, that was announced a little bit ago, and I guess the merger just happened.
Okay. What does MGM make? Bond? That's like their big thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot of stuff. What movie did I just watch?
Tom and Jerry. I think that's them, right?
MGM has a lot. There's something I just watched that had MGM. But
yeah. But like Integrity, I still have hope. I'm like, hey, let's see what happens once the merger happens. Remember, the Snyderverse and DCU is not the top of their mind right now. I mean, it's probably up there, but like we act like this is what they're coming in for to fix. There's a lot of things that have to be done. They're gonna have to they're doing a new platform. I guess I don't know if it's still going to be called HBO Max. Where is that? I should have labeled these better. But basically, they're going to have a new streaming service that's going to mix HBO Max and Discovery into one thing. You know, what will that be called? I don't know. But here we go. Yeah. And here's the thing. Discovery Plus has subscribers, but it may not be the numbers they want because maybe people aren't willing to pay $10, $12 a month just for Discovery programming. You know, that's understandable.
Sure. I mean, look, and that's in response to a comment because, look, he said Batman and Superman movies that are successful get sequels, incompetent execs that make billion-dollar mistakes get fired. It's that simple. It's always been that simple. I mean, look, just because a movie made money doesn't mean, I mean, you know, look at Batman versus Superman, right? It made money, but besides the Snyder diehards, it's not well revered. It is not what the fans liked or wanted, or, you know, again, it's the minority. Secondhand on that, if that's the case in that comment, in that situation, if that were true, then Walter Hamada would have been fired after the Joker thing in 2019.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Look, how many, Jack, Caden, I have a question for you guys. How many billion-dollar ideas do you think are passed on daily in Hollywood?
Oh, probably
A lot. Like,
so for us,
Star Wars was one of them.
Looking at the you know, from the outside in, we're going, oh, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know how to do his job, and blah 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 blah. Guys, this happens all the freaking time. Is it a mistake? Yeah. But if we fire every single person that does it, then you're doing the same exact thing that you're mad at Warner Brothers for doing with the Snyderverse. They didn't like it. They got rid of them. On to the next thing. To me, it's this big double standard. It's this big hypocritical thing that is like, you know what? You got to look at the facts in the situation. And the facts are, outside of that one Joker debacle, Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich have made billions of dollars for Warner Brothers.
And they're kind of resetting the page. I mean, let's say this. Let's say hypothetically they do make Zack Snyder's Justice League 2. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be anything like he originally imagined, because they're going to be like, okay, yeah, well, you have to incorporate all these new characters. You can't ignore Batgirl. You can't ignore Shazam. You can't ignore, you know, the Suicide Squad or even like the Birds of Prey. You have to integrate them and yada, yada, yada. And Zack may say, no, I'm not going to do that. I want to do my movie. And they're going to be like, dude, we've moved on. We're giving you the opportunity, but you're going to have to kind of, maybe, okay, Darkseid's coming, but reimagine it. And if he says no, then I would say that's on him. But like, I think the possibility is there, but I don't think it's as high priority as a lot of us think it is for Warner Bros. Like Zaslav or whatever.
I think with Zaslav's plan, and especially like with the low cost budget movies now, I don't think restoring the Snyderverse would be in that plan, because those movies will be really expensive to do. Like really expensive. Like you can't just greenlight 2 or 3 movies and expect like $1 billion like to come out of each one of those. And also you can't expect those budgets to be the $250 million budgets that they were.
It would have to be curtailed dramatically.
It's not going to be.
And I do have to, I got to take off here in a second, but I want to address Integrity's comment he just made.
This one right here, high rate.
Incompetent execs. Incompetent execs don't fire themselves. I don't even know what that's in reference to, so I'll try and watch afterwards and see if you can explain, because obviously not. But like I said, Walter Hamada, you guys are acting like Walter Hamada is just in charge. This guy made $1 billion out of a horror franchise in the 2000. Like, how many horror franchises are $1 billion franchises?
More successful than Halloween, than Scream, than all those movies.
There is a reason Walter Hamada is in that chair. Again, are mistakes made? Yeah. They're made every single freaking day in Hollywood. Money is lost every single day in Hollywood. But you just keep on going. And the thing is, too, is it's like, at the same time, there is a much broader audience when you don't continue Zack Snyder's story.
Yeah.
DC has already proven that.
Yeah.
Because as much as I like to get on the people that are criticizing Peacemaker and Suicide Squad and things like that, most outside of the Twitter trolls, Most people have accepted that. Most people are happy with what DC is doing right now. The minority is the Zack Snyder fandom. Just fine, want what you want, advocate for what you want and stuff, but don't act like you're the main spotlight fan, because you're not.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, and I'm proud of this. We'll restore the Snyderverse. I still retweet it, but like, 10,000 tweets. Okay, so 10,000 people buy, I don't know, 10,000 tickets. That's like what 100,000, 200. It's maybe a million. Like, you have to look at the numbers for this. Like, if it does happen, it would be much smaller budget. It might have to be on HBO Max. That'd be HBO Max's risk. Like, hey, do you want to pay Zack Snyder $200 million to make Justice League 2? Go for it. But like, we're gonna give you this much money, and you have to follow these rules because we're HBO. We made Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Like, we know what we're doing, and you're gonna have to incorporate these characters. And Zack might say, "Nope, I'm done." Like, I also think it would be disingenuous for Zack to say, "No, I'm gonna do the movie I wanted to do back in 2015 or 2016 and not incorporate these new characters." I'm like, come on, that's not cool either. Like, you gotta, and you gotta give Mira her American accent,
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, look, and that's the thing. It's just like, at the end of the day, none of us work in Hollywood. None of us actually know the logistics, the decisions, the reasons. It's all up to speculation and all of that. But, I will say there are logical, you can make logical assumptions and things like that and all that. But look, I don't think Walter Hamada is going anywhere once this merger happens. I think the only person that might head out, or the only two, is Anne, and the other one is Toby. And my only reason for saying Toby is because of that article a year ago saying he's like reaching out to other studios.
Right.
I've been hearing that he might be staying on.
Resume. He was like,
right. And ever since that article, it's been dead silent. So I don't even know where that really came from.
Walter Hamada could be like to David Zaslav. Yeah, I need Toby.
But not to mention, Walter Hamada is close friends with James Wan. What's James Wan's home studio?
New Line and
Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And like, we're looking at David Zaslav the way a year ago we were looking at Jason Kilar. We're like, he's going to restore the Snyderverse. Like, Jason likes Zack. He likes the Snyder movie. He's going to be our guy who's going to come in and fix it.
Dude, Zaslav could like Zack all he wants. If it's only reaching a limited audience, he's probably not too interested. As a businessman, I wouldn't be too interested.
Yeah. And then they're going to be like, he's like, oh, Zack Snyder's Justice League was successful. Great. Well, Mr. Zaslav, here are the numbers for Man of Steel. Did well, but not as well as we hoped. Here are numbers for BVS. Did well, not as well as we hoped. And then we did Justice League. Didn't do well at all. Do you want to go backwards, or do we keep moving forward with what we're building now? And he's going to think of it as a businessman. He's not a comic book nerd. He doesn't have his wall filled with posters like this. And while he's the top dog, these are board decisions. There are investors who also, put money into these. They have huge investors who are going to be like, I don't know if we should take a risk on that. Yeah, there's a big fan base for Zack Snyder's Justice League 2, but would it be cheaper to make 5 or 6 smaller properties like The Penguin, GCPD, Batgirl, Peacemaker Season 2, and things that we're pretty sure are going to do really well, and let that generate revenue and income for the next 5 or 6 years, as long as Peacemaker goes and Batgirl and Gotham PD and the Penguin show. You know what I mean? Like, that's how they're looking at it. They're not looking at us as fans, because part of me really wants it back. I think, and part of me has still a little bit more hope. I'm not gonna lie. Like, all these things happen, you're like, maybe, just maybe.
But maybe I do gotta head out, and I will say this: my parting words are this. Integrity says they aren't reaching a limited audience. Any fandom of a specific director, unless it's like, I'm talking, and there are only maybe 1 or 2 names that I can name that it's like universally these people go and watch and see every Spielberg, James Cameron, maybe one other that
Nolan. I think Nolan has a pretty good
Christopher Nolan,
Tarantino.
I'm so sorry, Integrity. I hate to burst your bubble. Zack is not in that category.
Yeah.
Which means every other director has a limited audience. No other director except very few reach an entire broad. I mean, not even the Marvel directors get there. So I'm not
Anthony and Joe Russo's
but
movie didn't do that well. The one with Tom Holland as a war vet or something. I don't know what it was called.
Right. The Russo brothers, even they have their exactly.
Yeah.
And so, look, I love Zack Snyder. He's one of my favorite.
I would
directors.
say Zach is on the next tier, though. I would say he's like on the next tier, like under that. Like if those are the big ones, here are the kind of quasi successful.
I don't even know if I've got them because I just know that his fandom is loud. I don't know that it's as big as even. I mean, look, he's got no fandom like Martin Scorsese or like or even like the Russo brothers now because of the event. You know, it's just not. But they are vocal. They are loud. They do. I mean, that's
The one thing Zach has is that anytime one of his movies comes out now, he's going to have a huge fan base doing free marketing for him. And Warner Brothers is aware of that. They're like, yo, these guys are going to retweet the crap out of this, get it trending. And then normies are going to be like, oh, what is this Army of the Dead movie? What And I'm guessing the numbers for Army of the Dead were good. But Austin, I know you got to go.
Yeah, I got to head out. We'll see you Tuesday.
All right, cool.
Caden will keep the show lively and entertaining for you guys.
Oh my god. Please.
You changed it to Scooby-Doo again.
Well, I'm always.
Did you just find that movie or something, Caden?
No,
Caden's like, that's a Scooby-Doo. I'm like, dude,
oh my god, there's a Scooby-Doo movie. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, I know about this.
But like, look, integrity. I'll give it to you. I want the Snyderverse restored so bad. You have no idea how much. I pray about it. I'm like, God, please. And I still think there's a hope for it. It might be multiverse. It might not be on the big screen. But a lot of things have to fall into place the right way. And they could fall into place like they did for the Snyder Cut.
Right.
But do I think that this delay is one of those reasons? I don't think so. I can't imagine.
Just remember, okay, like, so a couple months ago, like January, February, we learned there was an article released talking about the people that Zaslav talked to. And it was Amy Pascal, Greg Berlanti, Christopher Nolan, and like a couple other like lower executives that like people know and stuff. And those were like the main five that he talked about to people. None of them but Nolan is related to Zack Snyder. And even Nolan is
sorry, keep going.
Nolan's doing his own thing at Universal. He has his contract with Universal. He's doing Oppenheimer, which is filming right now. And so by using simple logic is doing this. So we've seen what Ben Affleck said. He's done with IPs. He says this is his last appearance as Batman for now, or whatever. This is documented. This is documented. Well, funny enough. And so then we have that. We also have the fact that Michael Keaton's coming back, and he is in Batgirl, and Batgirl takes place after The Flash, and that's also been delayed to next December or whenever they want that to come out after The Flash. But so with that, you can think, okay, Ben Affleck, a big major player, is out of the playing field right now, and so Zach, he's over at Netflix. So look at Netflix. Netflix signed him on for a 5-year deal. And that 5-year deal isn't just exclusive to 5 years. It can turn into 10 to 15 to 20. It can turn into 20. Like, it can evolve into like basically his whole career until he wants to retire. And so we don't know about that. But we know that he's creating like 3 cinematic universes over there on Netflix. And he's doing other little projects as well. So he's busy at Netflix. And then as we're talking about Ben is done. Zack Snyder, he's busy at Netflix. Michael Keaton's coming in. Henry Cavill. Let's talk about Henry Cavill. He's also at Netflix. He's also at Apple TV Plus. He's also like at Amazon.
He might be with he might be the next James Bond, rumors.
Yes.
So
but at the same time we know that there's some sort of at least he still has hope to be in this stuff. Because we still have, Sasha Calle's Supergirl's wearing his costume.
Yeah.
The same House of L. Other thing about the crazy thing is people forget is that there's a rule about the House of L symbol. Only the people of the original House of L can wear the symbol of House of L. So that means she is Kara Zor-El. That's
Yeah.
why. So that means, and the
But-
only way she can get that costume is to go to the Fortress of Solitude, and the only way she'll find the Fortress of Solitude, guess what, is via Superman. So clearly, there's still some sort of
and I think I wouldn't be surprised if they bring Henry back. I hope they bring Henry back. I think that's a smart decision. They're like, he's a star now. Bring him back. Let's do Man of Steel 2.
So just like laying out the facts here and laying out like the possibilities. It doesn't seem like the Snyderverse that people want can continue.
Yeah.
It's just that Zack can probably come back and do a film or two.
Yeah.
And then the like a mediation of or highs between his Netflix productions if he wants to. But it's not going to be like, oh, he's coming back to do the Batfleck project. But if he comes back, he's going to be directing Monkey.
It's not going to be like 2015 and 2016 again. I don't think so. No,
I think
he would not be the top dog. He would be like, all right, well, this is what everyone else is doing. You have to make something that connects with it, kind of like the Marvel movies.
And
so one thing, real quick, let me tell you. I'm not trying to burst your bubble. I have hope. I still think I would say there's a better chance now because of this delay. What I'm saying is I don't think it's delay is the reason why this is happening. I'm not trying because I want it to be so true. It's like every time I hear a UFO story, I'm like, it's aliens. And they're like, no, that's a B-2 bomber. I'm like, oh, I wish it was aliens. You know what I mean? Like, or you see lights in the sky and like, oh, they're coming. You want to believe so bad. And I want to believe really hard. And I still think there's hope for it. Because when the new management comes in, they're going to say, okay, give us a breakdown on the numbers, analytics. Oh, this film did really well. HBO Max is probably going to be like, yo, Zack Snyder's Justice League was one of our biggest successes. It was a director's cut of a 4-year-old movie. And it was one of our best products that we put out there. It was one of our most viewed products. Right. Okay, where do we go from here? Well, some fans, a huge fan base that wants Zack Snyder to do part 2. But here's the problem. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing the Batgirl. We're doing this. Right now, the Flash movie is going to reset the timeline. Oh, okay. Well, why don't we contact Zack? Tell Zack that we have a new timeline. If he wants to do another version of his film, we'll do that. They call his agent. Zack says no. They're like, okay, all right, cool. Right. What else we got? That's as quick as it could go.
Honestly, I can. To be honest, I can see Andy Muschietti doing if there's a Justice League 2 coming up soon. Andy Muschietti is the most likely person to do it because of the film that he just did was The Flash, which is going to be the biggest DC movie upcoming, and that's basically it's like Captain America Civil War of the DCEU, where it's like Captain America movie, but it still has big implications on the universe, and it still is like a type of Avengers movie, so it's kind of like that, and so it's basically that, and so like
someone said they were in the hospital. Who was that? Andrew Caselli. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
So basically, we saw what happened after Civil War. After they did Civil War, what did the Russo's brothers do next? They did Infinity War.
Infinity War, yeah.
So clearly, there's going to be something similar to happen with Andy Muschietti. He's doing the Civil War type of this movie. He's going to do the Justice League.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, who wrote Civil War and wrote Winter Soldier? Who wrote those movies are also the same person who wrote the Flash movie. Will most likely write the Justice League movie. Who wrote the Flash movie? Christina Hodson. And she's basically now the writer, architect of this universe right now. So it doesn't. So you can use simple facts and simple.
But here's the thing: even scenarios. Let's say David comes in. Zack, how much money do you want for Justice League 2? Great, got it. How do you want to do it? Theatrically, HBO Max, got it. You can do whatever you want. Oh, by the way, you can't use Ray Fisher. Him and Walter had a falling out. You're either going to have to recast Cyborg or not Cyborg at all. Would you guys get mad if Zack said yes to that?
And
Zack was like, hey, I can make the story I want to do.
Can't really use Ben Affleck unless Ben Affleck, it's like, oh, it's Zack and it's, But the thing is also people are like, oh, but he came back for Zack for the 2 weeks shoot. But the difference between the 2 week shoot and the Flash shoot and another shoot is that with the Flash shoot it was 1 week. With the additional photography for Zack Snyder's Justice League was 2 weeks. So that's 3 weeks. So I think he only wants to do more than a month of shooting anything with Batman. So clearly he's like wants just nothing to do with that character anymore. And doesn't
Yeah, I
want
mean,
to do
is it possible Zach could poach him back? I think, yeah. If Zach says, look, Ben, we're back on track. Ben's be like, oh, well, here's the problem. For the next 2 years, I'm doing this project, and this project, and I'm directing a movie. So, you're going to have to wait 3 years.
And
that's entirely possible. Gal Gadot is
honestly,
a much bigger star now than she was 3 years ago.
Also, but at the same time, I honestly think with it's either gonna be Michael Keaton or Leslie Grace as the main Bat character. That if any director comes in to do a Justice League movie, those are the two Bat characters they're gonna have. So yeah, I if again looking at no cloud judgment, no.
When I'm real quick, Monkey, I'm saying it's possible that they say, like hypothetically, like I said, okay, Zach, make Justice League 2, but you have to incorporate Peacemaker, you have to incorporate Batgirl, you have to incorporate maybe Bloodsport in some way, shape, or form. Not make them part of the Justice League, but you have to take these popular characters,
right? Reference them somehow, or like show like a quick cameo of them,
cameo or something. You know. Also, you might have to not use Ray Fisher.
And you can't use.
You might have to either recast Cyborg, like that. Zach might say no to that. He might be like, no, I like Ray. Ray's a friend of mine.
And also like it's like Zach has a very certain style of writing in movies that if he were told not to use Chris Terrio and use Christina Hodson,
they might say that though. Yeah, you're right. They might say not Chris Terrio, and I would not be against that idea.
I wouldn't be against it, but I'm just like. I'm sure Zach would not be be against it. Be like, no, I want to use Chris Terrio, or I want to use my 300 writers, or I want to use people that work with the past. It's like they're like, no, you're gonna have to use Christina Hodson's script that she just wrote for this movie.
That's another thing. So there's supposedly a Green Lantern core story coming from HBO Max, and that's the reason they told Zach to cut out the Green Lantern from the Snyder Cut. And he might be like, I want to do John Stewart, and they're like, nope.
Well, also he doesn't have the character rights to John Stewart and the Green Lanterns. Geoff Johns does, and he's. So people forget that there is character rights now, and thanks to Christopher Nolan, there's character rights. So if you sign on to Warner Brothers DC, you are assigned a certain character that you can have your main focus on. The main focus that Zach was assigned to was Superman, because Nolan and Kevin Sutriara and then we're discussing what's the next superhero, and they're like Superman, and they're like, okay, who's a director that you get Christopher Nolan? What's a director and creative that you want to do? He's like, oh, I'd like that 300 movie and that and that Watchmen movie. Let's get that guy.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. So he was not given like the whole. And then after Man of Steel, he was then given Batman for Batman v Superman. And then during that phase is when he was given the reins to do a whole lot more. And I think they were testing the waters for that. And that's the thing. And so the thing is with the Jon Stewart thing, I know it's crazy, but there's certain ways you have to go through channels of filming.
Yeah, you can't just do whatever you want. Yeah.
No, you can't. And so what Zach did was not okay with the studio, with SAG, with all these people involved. There's a bunch of people involved. What he did was not okay, and I'm 100% honest with you guys. What he did in SAG after terms is quote unquote illegal. Because he filmed a scene with an authorization from the studio or SAG, and he filmed with an actor who is a union actor.
John Wayne T. Carr.
Yeah. So with that, if anyone gets a hand of that scene and that gets put then that's a whole nother thing. But because Geoff Johns, Walter John told him no, you can't use these characters, and then they didn't authorize the casting. Zach casted himself with Ray Fisher.
Yeah.
That's how Wayne T. Carr came in the picture, and that's a whole another conversation. But it's a lot of things that
was that scene supposed to be the original 2016, 2017 era, or was that something that came up afterwards?
Yeah, that's what Zach came up right around before it was an idea that he talked with Debbie about, and then they're so the other thing was people were claiming that Ryan Reynolds is coming back, and Zach mentioned it that he wants to use Ryan Reynolds and to Debbie. That's it.
Yeah.
And no one else. So only Zach and Debbie knew about the Ryan Reynolds idea, but then people were claiming that Ryan Reynolds was back. I knew about this for a while. Also, yes, they do. SAG is involved with every single film if they're part of the union.
Yeah, if they're part of the union, yeah.
Like Warner Brothers, Disney, they all have to work with SAG. There is not one product. Warner Brothers players and Paramount Pictures players are the two studios like under Warner Brothers and stuff that don't really use SAG, but they're like part of the union. But it's like that's a whole other thing. They did know that he was going to use him, but he wasn't written the script for the cut of the film that they were going to film, and so.
So wait, in the original cut, Martian Manhunter was just going to show up in the scene with Lois, and that was going to be it. Like he's not going to show up at the end. Like they were just going to leave you with that.
He was going to show up at the end as well. It was going to be him and the two other Green Lanterns.
I just want to address this. So, not this. Where's the other one that you said? People are laughing at me. Well, I'll just say this. No one's laughing at it. No one's trying to burst your bubble. I'm just saying that I think it's unlikely that all this major changes are happening just to bring in Zach. I think it's a great opportunity. Great opportunity. In fact, I have more hope now than I did a month ago that we could see a restoral of the Snyderverse to some degree. I just don't know that Warner Brothers is going to delay all their movies, affect their Q2, 3, and 4 of 2022 just for Zack Snyder. I don't think so. But you were saying like the major shakeups. Look, the major shakeups are kind of happening because BVS didn't make as much money. If BVS hits $1 billion, we're not in this place. It did make money. It was very successful, but it didn't make the money they wanted it to make. We might have a similar situation with the Batman. The Batman's crossing 500 million. It opens in China, but there's a possibility the Batman's not going to make $1 billion. Now, could you imagine that they're like, oh, it didn't make $1 billion. We're canceling Batman 2. I hope they don't do anything that stupid. Oh, it didn't make what we thought it was going to make, So I think I am praying for it every day. I'm hoping so hard that we do get part 2 and 3. I hope we get a Man of Steel 2. I hope we get that HBO Max Ben Affleck series. But what I'm saying is there are a lot of moving pieces that have to connect really well. Like I said, it's like shooting a bullet with a smaller bullet while riding a horse blindfolded. It's like hypothetically there is a chance, but let's wait till the merger happens. But even then, I think people are expecting the merger happens April 12th or something. April 13th, we're going to get news. It would never be that quick. It would never be that quick.
No. The only news that we're going to get is the executive changes, as we've seen 2 days ago, with Saranoff being replaced by Piazza and the boards, and then a new board of directors was announced as well. That's the only changes you'll hear for the next couple of months, and after. Yeah. You won't hear movie news, crazy movie news that Zaslav has a full-on hands on until probably August.
Yeah, and even then. Yeah. And like I said, let's say Zaslav wants to do Zack Snyder's or wants to do Justice League 2, and Zack's like, oh, I got these projects lined up for 2023 and 2024. And he's like, oh, we don't want to wait that long. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate your time. That could very well happen.
I'm sure, okay. And if that happens, and they announce that it was scheduling conflicts, and Zach doesn't say anything either for another and if I would not be surprised if people will say, "Oh, that's a lie." Mm-hmm. Say, "Oh, they contacted Zach and saying it was scheduling conflicts." That's a lie, and then Zach comes out and saying,
"Look, we're very prone as a society, and I partially blame the internet to conspiracy theories. That is not to say that conspiracy theories don't happen."
No,
but everything becomes a conspiracy theory. I saw a conversation where I was accused of being a shill for Warner Brothers because I liked Peacemaker. I'm like, man, if Warner Brothers was paying me, first of all, I would take the money. That's the funny thing. Shameless.
Said,
but really, do you think Warner Brothers is paying me or paying Enosh or
right?
Paying for Caden?
That we're part of the agenda. Me, Austin, RJ, Jarbo, a bunch of us are part of agenda where we're getting sent DMs and emails by Warner Bros. To promote the Batman Peacemaker and stuff as if and like we're being paid, and then they're like, oh, but they don't have any stake in the Batman, so why are they so focused in? So if you're saying we're part of the agenda, then why are you saying we have no stake in the Batman? So like that's like clearly you think we have a stake in the Batman if you think we're part of the agenda.
Yeah.
So.
And look, I still want this, and I've said it before, I say it every show, I want the Snyderverse restored. How about put it this way? I want to play in the NBA. And no matter how hard I try, I can get surgeries to make myself taller. It ain't going to happen. Now, I think there's more likelihood the Snyderverse is restored. It should be restored, but it won't be what we think it's going to be. It's going to be probably something a little bit different. And
I know, right, Music Man?
Warner Brothers is not going to – I can't see Warner Brothers, even new management, saying, Zach, do whatever you want. Like they did with James Gunn. James Gunn, like they were like, literally, James, do whatever you want. Oh, no, you can't use Batman and Cyborg. Cut them out. That happened to James Gunn. He had an actor cast as Batman to play Ben Affleck's Batman. He had a cyborg.
Yeah, but again, I think I think the crazy thing is I'm surprised the cyborg actor hasn't come out. Like, because like all the Batman actors said, oh, it was great working with Cyborg and Wonder Woman and everything. Like, I'm surprised that actor has, I'm sure because, of course, he's going to be compared to Ray Fisher and stuff like that.
And then the fans are going to attack him. Look what happened to the Henry Cavill actor.
Right.
The guy had 15 minutes of fame, and he's like, oh, I love you guys. I would love to be your Superman. Everyone's like, you mother effing C-word.
You can't be Superman. Like, you aren't an actor. You're just a stunt double.
Yeah.
I mean, I think...
hey! Speaking of hot Asian women.
Oh, my God. But, yeah, and also with that thing, obviously, of course, James said because of the future of those characters, we're not simple enough for me to just have them in the scene, so I had to cut them. And of course,
Well, let me put it this way, Mark. I have already planned for a year what my opening will be for Jivin' with Jack when the Snyderverse is restored. I know exactly what I'm going to do, what my opening is going to be. I've already prepared for that because I'm waiting for that day. It could happen next week. It could happen a year from now. Or it may not happen at all. What I'm saying is I don't want to feed false hope because I don't want to disappoint you guys. And you know what? I don't want to disappoint myself, because I rewatched during my recuperation, I rewatched the first disc of Zack Snyder's Justice League with a friend. And he's not a huge DC fan or anything, but he's like, why the F did they not release this movie? This is so much better than Marvel, at least in his opinion. He's like, this is so much better than the theatrical cut. I'm like, yeah, it seems kind of stupid in hindsight, doesn't it? And maybe David Zaslav, I'm just saying, don't look at David Zaslav as the guy who's going to hit a home run to win the game at the bottom of the ninth. He might just hit a line drive and tie the game. Or he may come in and, look, they're aware of us. Because the fact that the Snyder Cut exists means they are aware of us. All right, we would never have gotten this film if it weren't for the fans. So I say keep pushing. Every time I see Restore the Snyder thing, I retweet it. I'll tag it. There's a big event tomorrow in the morning to push for it, Restore the Snyderverse. But I'm also saying there's also moving pieces. There's a Gotham PD show. There's a Batgirl show. There's a Flash movie that may contradict what Zach does. They might say, Zach, make Justice League 2, but it's got to be completely different because this is what we're doing right now. And I'll say this about Ray Fisher. I think I'm proud of him for standing up for himself. But I think if he was smart, he should have done the Flash, kept his mouth shut, and then spoken out afterwards. That's what I would have done. But
or just not say you're not going to work with Walter Amado.
Just say, yeah. See, then you put yourself in the box. And what if Walter Amado apologizes to you?
All right.
Are you now saying that you're going to work with,
That's to me, that's the only thing that. Like that by then he did wrong was saying I'm not going to work with Walter Amado because that means he.
No, I'm not saying he's a diva. I'm just saying that Zach might want to do his own thing because remember the reason all this happened because they butchered Zach's movie and Zach is a successful director. He's like, look, I'm going to do the movie the way I want to do it. And they're like, no, we want you to do it like this. And just right there, both sides have a point. They may say, okay, Zach, let's agree, disagree. Good luck with Netflix. Good luck with Reverend Moon. There's too many moving pieces that need to kind of fit perfectly for this to happen. But I still think it's possible. I think that Zach may say, yeah, listen, David Zaslav say, hey, Zach, do me a favor. I want to put you in a hotel room in a conference room with Ray Fisher and Walter Hamada. Can you fix that? And Zach may say, yeah, guys, let's hug it out. Let's fist bump. Let's move forward. Let's put the past in the past. We want Jeff Johns in that room. Guys, come in. Let's shake hands. Let's cross dicks. Everything's fine. And then everything could be fine. And everything would be working fine. But then, sometimes in Hollywood, you have to be careful about burning bridges, even for the right reasons. If you burn those bridges, they are burned. If Ray Fisher were to come back while Walter Hamada and Jeff Johns are involved, that makes Ray Fisher look bad. It's like, oh, so they offered you enough money and you're willing to work with these bad people, according to you. You have to be careful what you say about other celebrities, other people in power. You got to wait till you have your own power. You become big in Hollywood. You can come out and say, like, hey, now that I have $50 million in the bank and then every movie studio wants me, Christopher Nolan can walk away from Warner Brothers after 10 because he's got that name now. He's like, all right. Universal's like, come over here, Chris. We'll give you $300 million. Do whatever you want. Could he do that in 2005? No.
Right.
You think Batman Begins? Who cares about this guy?
Let me look at the Christopher Nolan universe deal because that deal is bonkers and what the heck was that?
I'm not hating on Ray Fisher. I'm just saying that if he wanted to play it smart.
So Universal will accommodate
and then come out and say what you have to say. When you want to fight a guy that's bigger than you, you want to put on some muscle first. If you understand what I'm saying, I'm saying play the political game. You have to be smart about it. Jeff Johns said what he said. Walter Hamada tried to cover it up. Okay. Let me make the Flash movie. Let me become a bigger star. Oh, by the way, this is what these guys did. And now you're on Good Morning America and on CNN, promoting your movie and be like, oh, yeah, this is what they did. That's the way I would do it. He took a stand. And right now, I think there are a lot of directors and studios who may not want to work with him just because they're afraid of that drama coming to them. Now, obviously, Zach Castleman, Rebel Moon, and the rest may be history. But, that's an obstacle for the Snyderverse being restored is what I'm saying. Because Walter may stay. Jeff Johns will probably stay. Because they're like, yo, this guy's a huge comic book writer and he understands these characters. Okay, cool. But Ray Fisher doesn't want to work with him. And Zach is put in a tough position. Like, Zach, you can make it, but you're either going to have to recast Cyborg or you're going to have to do the story without Cyborg. And what does that leave Zach? There's, again, so many moving pieces need to go in. Is Ann Sarnoff gone?
Yeah, she was just replaced on Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, yeah, so she's gone. So they're, bye. Yeah, is the leader or anything? I agree, but I'm just saying, a lot of obstacles come into place because I want to see that. I rewatched the Snyder Cut over the weekend, or last Friday night, or I think it was, or last month. Yeah, whatever. I was on Percocet. I watched it recently, and I was like, oh my god, what a phenomenal! Every frame is a pleasure to watch. Everything is shot so well. And I love that it's 4 hours. Part of me is like, you know what? I want where's that 5 hour version? Remember the assembly cut of Snyder Cut? It was like, oh, it's 5 hours. I'm like, where's that extra hour? I would love to see it. Yeah, maybe. But I would say Ray should have played his cards close to the chest, done the Flash. And then when he has a little star power and he's a bigger star, he can come out and say, hey, this is how so-and-so treated me.
Right.
I know I'm saying that, but he's good friends with Zach. I'm just saying it's just another.
No, the thing is,
and he was great in Snyder Cut.
The thing is, you guys were saying that he's so important to Zach's story with Zack's Justice League, and Zach was said that he was the heart of the film. Now you guys are saying he's important to these films. So what is it? What is it? Is he not important? Is he important? To me, make up your mind on what you guys think about Ray Fisher. Yeah. And because you guys were saying that he was important to Zach's story. Because he was important to Zach's story. Because he without Cyborg, Darkseid wouldn't be able to come to Earth, and also Batman would not be able to do what he did in JL2 and 3, and what the story was we saw.
He's going to be pivotal. Not only that, in Snyder Cut, we're dealing with a cyborg who's still learning about his powers. He's probably more powerful than we have seen him to be in that first movie. He's going to become more powerful and more, he's going to learn how to use his, technology and everything more. So, even talking about this gets me excited about what Justice League 2 could be, and I'm really still hoping. I think definitely there's a better chance with this delay. But what I'm saying is the delay didn't happen because of Zack Snyder. I'm saying that if they're going to take their time, new management comes in, they are going to look at these numbers. What was the most successful thing on HBO Max? Oh, it was Peacemaker, this, Euphoria, and the Zack Snyder's movie. Wait, a director's cut of a movie was like your third or fourth most viewed thing on HBO Max? Yep. And the Friends reunion. Oh, you should definitely look into doing more of this, and the conversation may go that way. There's a lot of steps that have to happen before they even talk to Zach. And I have faith it could. But I also know that Walter Amada might be there, or Jeff Johns. You're going to listen, dude. We made 3 movies with him, and none of them hit the $1 billion mark.
Right.
Look what James did. James made Aquaman, one of the most joked about characters, made $1 billion with him. I think we're on the right track. And they may just convince me, like, okay, all right, well, I'll take your judgment. You guys have been in this longer than I have.
Right.
David Zaslav out. Like, that could happen too.
Yeah. Let me give you 2 or 3 links. So because
What do you mean, you guys?
Well, hold on.
Yeah, I think I've read the article that she's gone, or she's going to be replaced.
So the person that they mentioned, hold on, I need to find it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It would have to be something different, and they might have to say, look, Zach, we want you to have a different writer. We think that Chris's scripts, Chris is an Oscar winner. He did Argo, but we think that his script's a little too messy. Maybe get David Goyer back. David Goyer and Jonah Nolan, who wrote Man of Steel.
Right.
To say, hey, write Justice League 2. Here's the blueprint. Darkseid's coming. Superman's going to turn evil. Take it away. And they could write something even better. David Goyer is not a good director, but he writes some pretty good stories. You never know. Get David Hayter, who guys know David Hayter. Solid Snake. He wrote Watchmen. He could probably write a really good Justice League
with,
or whoever the hell wrote 300. They're making Rebel Moon. This is the blueprint.
So first, can you share with the second link that I put, the second variety link I put in?
Yeah.
And then
okay, yeah, you want me to share that?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. There you go. All right, let me see.
So,
I'm not trying to
not this one.
Ice water on it, like literally, like my background.
Okay, scroll down a bit.
I want to look at this. Everyone, look at this for a while. Okay,
so scroll down even more. Right there. Stay right there. So look at what Aaron Sarnoff's job is right there. Chair and CEO of Warner Media Studios and Network Group. All right, you know that she's the chair and CEO of Warner Media Studios and Network Group. Mm-hmm. Now share the second link for the variety one. The variety link.
All right, let me open that up real quick.
The pizza one.
Yeah, okay. Let me open that up. And I don't mean, I'm just saying, let's look, the more we temper our expectations and it does happen, it's going to be even huge. It's going to be huger.
Okay, so now we see that AT&T named Samuel DePizza as chairman of Warner Bros. Piazza. Yeah.
Damn it, Caden.
Pizza. It's pizza.
Samuel DePizza.
Samuel DePizza. So that basically tells us that Samuel DePiazza is now the new chairman of Warner Bros. Discovery, because again, Warner Bros. Discovery is not taking over Warner Bros. It's taking over Warner Media.
Yeah. And
Warner Media is now out. It's now Warner Bros. Discovery. So now with Piazza in, he is taking Anson's job as the CEO and chairman of Warner Media Picture Studios.
Yeah.
AKA now Warner Bros. Discovery Picture Studios.
Yeah.
So that means Aaron Sarnoff is now bye-bye, gone.
Bye-bye, yeah.
There's another, I need to find this other article.
Yeah, good. Go find the article then. Go find it, and I'll address some of the comments real quick. Yeah, it's going to be something different, and it'll be a global phenomenon. I think if I'll put it to, so what was his name? Austin was saying Zach isn't in the tier of a Lucas or a Spielberg. Agreed, but I think he's definitely in the next tier. Like, and I put James Wan there too, because Malignant did not do well. I thought James Wan was a bit. Every one of James Wan's movies the last 10, 12 years have been huge hits, except for Malignant. That movie did not do well, despite having his name attached to it. Part of it was that it was on HBO Max. Part of it was that it was not a great movie. It was a weird movie. But I think right now, Zach's household name is much better than it was 5 years ago. Which is when, oh my God, when did BVS come out? 2016?
Yeah.
So it's 7 years. 7 years since that movie came out. And I'll tell you guys a quick story. I talk to a lot of normies. These are people that go to, a lot of my friends, they go to see Marvel movies, but they don't read comic books. They don't give a crap about that stuff. They only watch it if something's popular. Almost all of them, when I said you have to see the Ultimate Edition of BVS, would watch it, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that was better than I remember it." And that was it. That was it. I'm like, dude, it's so much better. Like, we're looking at it as fans, as Snyder fans. They're like, oh, okay, this movie's good. But see, Hollywood doesn't want me. They want those guys. They know that as a comic book fan, I'm going to go see DC properties or Marvel properties. But they're like, we want to get the casual fan who will go take, their girlfriend or boyfriend or take their family to go see and get that Marvel type money. That's what they're thinking. And bring Zach back from the dollar sign point of view is like, yeah, we'd make money, but could we make more money down the line doing what we're doing now? And that's the tricky part. That's what I'm saying. Here we go. This link right here, Caden?
Yeah.
All right. I had to increase my RAM dramatically.
Damn it. Apparently, so there's a part of it that's there's a paywall in one part.
In 1 month's time, David Zaslav will close the Warner Media Discovery merger and formally announce the creation of Warner Brothers Discovery. That's what Anthony was saying it's going to be called. Cementing his status as one of the most powerful people in media, his coronation will mark the end of a year-long honeymoon period during which all of Hollywood and New York came to kiss his ring at the Pole Lounge and in the Hamptons at the beginning of the actual work, which includes and is not limited to overhauling Warner Brothers to compete with Disney, growing HBO Max and Discovery. So he might look at Zack Snyder and say, okay, Zack is not good for Warner Brothers Pictures. He might be good for growing HBO Max, And that is something we've talked about. What if Zack did a 5-episode arc, during the summer of 2024? You can still go to the movies or you can sit at home and watch a comic book movie, maybe. And repositioning CNN needs a lot of work. CNN needs a ground-up rewrite.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, not doing well, CNN. CNN tried to be like MSNBC and failed. All while trying to find $3 billion in cost saving to help alleviate. So that's a big question. Okay, so here's the thing. $30 billion of debt. And now they're thinking of taking a risk on Zack again. They might say it may not be worth it. It could be a big reward. Or, let's say Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 comes out and does okay. Does well, but not as well as they'd hoped. They all ask these questions, in business. They have people who study the analytics, and they may just say it might not be worth taking that risk. It's safer to make Batgirl, 10 episodes of Batgirl, which it will be a lot cheaper to make. And, so because you got to pay Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, and Jason Momoa. I'm not throwing Ezra Miller in there because I don't think Ezra Miller is that big of a household name. But those are some big paychecks that have to be paid to get them all together. And Warner might be like, we have $30 billion of debt, so
all right. And so the part I want to get to is in the meantime, industry insiders remain preoccupied by the question who will serve as Zaslav's top lieutenants in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. It turns out there's more than one. At AT&T's Warner Media, and Snyder was tasked overseeing the entire entertainment portfolio, including Warner Bros. Pictures, HBO Max, WTV Group, and a slew of television networks, consumer, and so on. Zaslav, a hands-on leader with a version of corporate layers, will restructure the org chart to effectively get rid of that tier. So basically saying Snyder's job is now useless, gone, bye-bye. Yeah. And Casey Bloys, the head of HBO and HBO Max, one of the company's most cherished executives, will report directly to Zaslav. So that means Casey Bloys now will just be right below Zaslav, not like 3 tiers below or 2 tiers below, right now 1 year tier. Meanwhile, Zaslav is intensely focused on beefing up the Warner Bros. Film division, intends to give oversight to yet-to-be-named executives. Mm-hmm. It remains to be seen whether Saranoff will continue to oversee the remaining assets, take on a new role, or leave the company. And as we've seen, that her job was replaced, so she may be taking a new role or leave the company. And so
she might have another position. Who knows? You know.
Yeah.
Look, Warner Brothers HBO Max has had some success. That Friends reunion was huge. You know how many people got HBO Max just to watch that Friends reunion? like they're not going to fire the people who came up with that. They're not going to be like, oh,
Right.
you brought us 10 million subscribers. No. Friends alone, a lot of people have HBO Max just to watch Friends. Like, it's a huge deal. Like, they're not going to fire those people and be like, oh, you know.
And as for yet to be named executive, the list of plausible candidates is extremely short. Since the fall, Puck News have been reporting that Peter Rice, an accomplished and well-respected leader, is widely seen as top candidate for that job. So Peter Rice may be the new, like Jason Keelar and Toby Emmerich. Disney's own corporate restructuring stripped away his P&L and put more power in the hands of distribution chief Kareem Daniel, leaving many who assumed the Rice might loosen the saddle. Sources close to Rice also always dispute this and say he's happy at Disney, but he may be even happier to take the helm of Warner Brothers and reporting directly to Zaslav. Then again, Zaslav's decision to give Chris Leitch the top job at CNN without consulting the usual suspects who show media reports short list suggests he may have more unconventional trick up his sleeve. Speaking of Leitch, news media insiders are absorbed with their own parlor game, trying to determine which on-air talents will be the face of the new, less shouty CNN, where the Leitch told staff news will be the top priority. The vast majority of CNN's most notable names are likely safe: Andrew Cooper, Jake Taper, Wolf Blitzer, Don Lemon.
Thank you, Don Lemon. I'm just saying that. Sorry, go ahead.
Despite leaning heavily into often
sanctimonious
analysts during the Trump years and being frequent target of for Fox News, may be safe as well, particularly since he currently has the network's highest rated show and has demonstrated during the Ukraine coverage. He's quite capable of being serious and commentary-free anchor. Erin Burnett has always shown her dedication and hard news by being the network's first host to go to Ukraine. Others may be wise to book a ticket to the war-torn and prove they're bona fide as well. The more interesting question, of course, is who Leitch might hire. I'm increasingly convinced, though not certain, that Brian Williams is destined to write this next chapter at CNN, but necessarily at yet another white nightly newsman alongside Anderson, Jake, and Wolf, perhaps in the role that satisfies his desires to test his skills in another performance, whether that vein of Larry King style talk show or an Anthony Bourdain-esque travel series or something else. Leitch may also talk to his former colleagues, Nora O'Donnell, the CBS Evening News anchor who had suffered through an imbecile mismanagement of Neeraj Kamanali, the CBS News co-head, who you also might remember, reportedly implored Williams to take O'Donnell's seat and refused to definitively dispel rumors that her days at the networks were numbered. While not usually as a natural fit for cable news, her broadcast credentials may not make. So basically, it's just talking about CNN.
And look, so what's interesting about this article, they talk more about CNN than they did about Warner Brothers or even DC Films, because CNN needs some heavy fixing. So even the writers of this article know that there are bigger deals and bigger fish to fry. And CNN at one point was the gold standard for news. They have fallen
this Leitch stuff
far
is
behind.
Big, especially when they talk about Don Lemon and how. And then,
they just lost the Cuomo guy. What was his name?
Andrew Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo. Yeah.
Because of the.
Now, who was the name of the governor then?
His brother was. Isn't? Hold on.
I'm into politics and I forgot. Who was the governor of New York?
I'm forgetting.
Governor New York. Andrew. So that's Andrew Cuomo.
Oh, Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, that's the brother. And
Chris Cuomo.
Chris Cuomo. Yeah. And it turns out, like CNN, unfortunately, has been not. If you think Warner Brothers DC films are corrupt, CNN has really
CNN has been very bad for the past couple of years, because especially with the Chris and Andrew Cuomo stuff.
Yeah. And their numbers have dropped. They try to be like MSNBC, and this has not been good.
A lot of people are against them now. Even the very good people in the BLM group are against CNN. Are mad at Don Lemon for a lot of things. So and that's
they do a lot of suspect reporting. Like they said, gas prices dropped. They showed this huge
Correct.
Like
Even this
graph,
big line
and
of
basically
about
it
the
showed
John
it
Lennon
dropped
thing.
2 cents in one day, but the way they did the graph made it look like it was a huge jump. It's like,
Yeah.
But my point is, from this author's perspective, CNN is the bigger fish to fry, more so than DC. I don't think they even talked about DC in this article. They just said Warner Brothers Films.
They talked about they talked about Ann Sarnoff and Casey Close, which Casey and Walter and Toby all work together closely for, of course, HBO Max, and now it seems like Ann Sarnoff's job is now going to be completely flattened, and or she's going to be booted, as with Piazza coming in to basically replace her and or be her co-partner on that part. Who really knows with that? But right now it seems like he's replacing her with this article and with the Piazza coming in, and with the leadership board on Warner Media's own site. So it seems like Ann Sarnoff is gone with all this evidence stacked against her right now. Again, and then it seems like Casey Blow.
Inception.
And especially with Casey Blow's job, it seems like he might have a more prominent role because again, Zaslav is from Discovery, and Discovery Plus was their biggest thing, and with TC and TLC Go as well, and all their streaming services for Discovery was pretty big for them. And so he's coming from a streaming platform side of things as well, and a more of a reality side. And so he's working with Casey closely. And
but do you see how much work he has to do? Like, this is no small joke. Like,
no, this is the thing about Casey Blow's job.
Zack Snyder might be like, if he's got like a top 100 list of things he has to get done, DC films might not even be in the top 50.
Honestly, I think, of course, as they mentioned, with one of Litch's guys might come in and do like a Larry King or Andre Baudet show type of thing. That might be an HBO Max Discovery Plus thing, like on the HBO Max. So that's Casey Blow's thing with CNN, and then CNN Plus also is a thing, and so that might be converged back into also HBO Max or whatever that big conglomerate streaming service might be. So he's working with, and I think Don Lemon has that as a show, even if he continues that show. So there's a lot of people that Casey Blow is not going to be working with.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be reporting straight. He's not reporting to two people just to get to Zaslav. He's reporting straight to Zaslav. So it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, boom, now I can report straight to you now. I don't have to go through Hamada to get to Emmerich to get to Saranoff. I don't have to go through Emmerich to get to Saranoff.
I mean, just so many pieces have to move. I mean, it's still possible, and I still have hope, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Let me ask you this. So let me ask you guys this. Someone asked, "There's an integrity. Where would I rank the Batman?" It is the best Batman movie made, but I have to watch it again before I rank it. I have to watch it again. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give it some time and watch it again when it comes out. I'm not gonna see it in theaters again. I don't think so. But basically, I want to rank it. I did want to talk about Jussie SMollet. Oh, Miss Marvel. Do you want to do that? You cool with that?
Yeah, we can talk about Miss Marvel.
So let's.
I can shed some light on that stuff.
All right, cool. So let's put this in put it in a corner. Put it on the shelf for now. We're still going to be talking about this, the transition that's going to happen in April. Who knows what the summer brings? Who knows what next year brings? We might hear some news. We might not hear some news. I would just say don't put too much energy into the Snyder stuff, hoping that this guy is going to be like a messiah figure and he's going to give us what we want. He might, but he might not. I'm just saying that he's the top of a big industry and he has a lot of work to do. So let's stick to it. Let's get to it. So I saw the trailer for this. I'm like, I feel like they made this movie just for Caden because this looks like something that Caden would love the crap out of. I was like, this is like a Caden movie. It looks like Nickelodeon and CW came together to make this show, and I'm like, all right, I love. First of all, I'm a huge fan of The Weeknd, so blinding lights, the use of blinding lights.
Okay, I'll get to that after. No, actually, since we're on that right now. So what I've realized with. And now people said, "Oh, but trailer music is very important to the movie," and shows. I'm like, yes, especially with Miss Marvel and Moon Knight right now.
Yeah.
And with Moon Knight, they had Day and Night by Kid Cudi, which toss and turn and stressing about the next day and all. And then so about with Ms. Marvel is they have Blinding Lights, and so what's the light that's blinding Kamala is being the perfect hero. And that perfect hero she sees, as we see in the trailer, is Captain Marvel. And you see that picture of her in the full-on Captain Marvel suit with the blonde hair and everything. So she thinks that's the perfect hero, and that's what she needs to be, because she's blinded by the light. And but she needs to realize that she has escaped that blinding light, and realize that she can be her own hero.
Yeah.
And that being her own hero is being Miss Marvel, and being in that suit, And I think there still might be some.
Caden, you're gonna cover this show. I'm just gonna be like, so tell us what happened on Miss Marvel this week. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not for me. I mean, I probably will watch it, but like, I was like, man, it's like they went in Caden's brain and they took the analytics out of Caden's brain and made a show. I'm like, this is perfect for Caden. This is exactly what Caden wants. But yeah, no, it looks. My dad wants to see it because he was so happy to see a Pakistani.
That's the thing.
Everyone wondering we're Pakistani,
Like some people were like some people were tweeting about like that thing. It was like, oh, like my coworker is really proud of this show. It looks cool. She was crying when she saw the trailer. Oh, and then I saw a couple of my friends who are also Pakistani Muslim. It was like, oh, this is a fantastic representation. I love all the diversity of the different types of Pakistani.
And by the way, she's Pakistani in the comics. It's not like they just made that up in thin air. They're like, oh, let's make her Pakistani. And they cast a Pakistani actress. I'm like, dude, if
she's Pakistani Canadian.
They're gonna people are in Pakistan's gonna riot, But it's a good thing.
And so people are like, also like, there's a character named Nakia who wears her hijab differently. Hijab differently. But
that's Caden.
It's me, Hans. But the thing is, they're like, oh, hold on, let me find, because so Nakia has, that when they have the girls are standing from the guy and they're like, he's like, you're slipping my shirt, and you see the girl with like the her head wrapped like in hijab, So basically, I'm like, I mean, I see some like I've seen like grown women who are Pakistani Muslim wear their hijabs just like that. Like, and they're like, oh, this is not how you wear hijabs, like the hijabs like this. And I'm like, no, I've seen people wear their hijab like that multiple times. So you like, and I'm like, of course, this is a white person speaking on Pakistani Muslim culture. So they only seen a hijab wearing like an actual, like, how we've seen it in like pictures. But if you go outside and look outside,
what he's saying here is what I agree with. I really got some home. But I just hope that, I don't know who the villain's going to be in this, but I hope they really, put this little girl in a corner, put her in a corner and have her really have to fight her way to like, become a hero. But we'll see what happens. And I don't think it'll be that type of story. But maybe it doesn't need to be. Like, Ant-Man does not be dark and gritty. I like the Ant-Man movies because they are exactly what they're supposed to be.
Someone pointed out it was really cool was that, like, you see the difference between Moon Knight and Miss Marvel. And you see it, and you clearly, probably, most likely will not see Moon Knight and Miss Marvel team up. Yeah. Like, that's, and because they're two total opposite sides of the universe.
Speaking of which, this just happened. I logged into Disney Plus for the first time in a very long time, and it gave me, I had to re-put my password in for the mature content. Oh, thank God.
Right.
Oh, they didn't do what I thought they were going to do. Oh. The Punisher's like, I'm going to shoot them with rubber bullets and then give them a lesson on critical race theory. I'm like, oh, please don't do that. But have you heard the rumors that Daredevil might go into production at the end of this year?
Funny enough, is like I tweeted about. There's a Production Weekly who does like this weekly newsletter of like productions that are going up, like coming up soon. They put a Daredevil reboot and an Untitled Space Marvel project.
And then I thought people arguing, like what I was saying, like they should just get the original writers because they did a good job. It was a successful show. But apparently a lot of those same writers from them and Punisher are working on Echo. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
So they do have them in circle. So why not use them and keep it R-rated? Now that you've taken that step, Disney has taken that step that I didn't think they were going to take. Keep it R-rated. I don't need to see TNA in the movie or swinging, dongs, but keep the violence there. Keep the villains bullseye scary. He kills a prince.
I need
church, keep that.
Also, don't recast Wilson Bethel. Don't recast Ben Barnes for Jigsaw. Don't recast like some of these.
Yeah, don't do that. And keep the Punisher it's like say the first 2 seasons of the Punisher kind of set up who the Punisher is going to become. Like at the end when he's got the 2 guns and he's shooting gangbangers, I'm like, that's the Punisher. But okay, if you want to get social justice-y about it, you could do there's a storyline called The Slavers, which talks about the sex slave trade, which is a real thing.
Right.
And how women are captured, beaten, broken like animals to become slaves, and the Punisher comes across a girl. And they say they kidnapped her baby, and then they killed her baby to get her to work for her. Like, these are real life things that are happening,
Yeah,
they touched on this a little bit in the Batman with the Catwoman's friend. You know what she was. Right. She was her friend who needed to, you can do it in that way. And then when the Punisher does kill people, you can feel a little bit better about yourself. You're not like, well, those poor criminals. You're like, nope, they deserve to die. Like, you could do white supremacists, do neo-Nazis. Punisher kills them a lot. And honestly, do it in a way where people, personally, I don't care who he kills as long as they're bad, but if you want to inject a message there, you can do that, Klansmen, something like that.
Because as we've seen that, those people have taken that symbol and made it their own and completely misused it.
Yeah, JVs is an Arab thing, not a Pakistani thing, but whatever, who cares?
Yeah. But Jinn, because it's Jinn, it's the D.
So all a Jinn is just an Arabic word for a demon. They make it seem like it's its own thing, but they basically believe. So basically, in Islam,
right?
Generally speaking, they kind of accept the Old and New Testament. They just think that there are differences. They don't believe Jesus is God. They basically believe in the Old Testament of the Bible. So it's just another word for what you would call a demon or an evil entity, a jinn. We use that word in our house. My sister's acting crazy. I'm like, what, you got a jinn in you or something? It's a joke. But
because there's a rumor that she's a descendant of this group called Clandestine, in which the Clandestine members were blessed by a jinn's blood.
Okay.
And it's the same thing with Inhumans, was that they're blessed with the Kree blood.
How old is this girl? She looks young.
In real life, she's 20.
Oh, okay. I thought she was 10 or something.
No, that's the thing. I was like, she looks perfect for Kamala because she looks.
Well, Pakistani people age differently. If you look at a picture of my dad when he was 20 and a picture of me when I was 20, you would think that we were 20 years apart because their diets are different over there. I'm 5'10", and I am grateful to be 5'10" because my parents are more short. But that's because I was born here. I ate that steroid-induced beef.
Right.
Chicken with steroids, just pumping me up with steroids. When I went to Pakistan when I was 10 years old, I was a normal-sized American kid. But everyone thought I was weird-looking. They're like, he's too tall, he's too large. What the heck? And they're like, he's American. Oh, they eat a lot, so. But so Pakistani people, we tend to be kind of on the smaller side. So I'm like, dude, I'm 5'10". I'm like, thank God. Whew, But yeah, she does look like a child. She looks like if Kate, if you were a girl, I figured that's what you look like, just plucky, and I feel like that's how you dress in real life. It's I put a lot of greens and reds on. But hold on,
that's hilarious. But yeah, I honestly have a lot of faith in the show.
Yeah,
and I think people.
I think they just have to do better storytelling.
Yeah,
even if it's family friendly. That's my issue with it.
Yeah, and also what's great about the show, it has a great creative team.
She's supposed to be a kid, though, right? She's supposed to be high school or preteen.
She's a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, so she's supposed to be young. Yeah.
So the great thing about the creative team behind the show, it has the original creators of the character. It also has great Pakistani creatives.
Okay.
And it has one of the main writer of the show is one of the writers from the Loki series, Bisha Lee, which she wrote. I think she wrote let me figure out which episode she wrote.
But she wrote, but that's good. They need to, keep it family friendly. I'm okay with that, but you got to make the narratives a little more tighter. My issue, a lot of the Marvel shows is they do 6 episodes, and the first 3 episodes are like a pilot. The story doesn't really begin until episode 3, and then they jump to the 3rd act, and you're like, oh, I guess we're here now. We're in the 3rd act already. Loki, I think, did it better. Loki had a really good pilot episode. But WandaVision took too long to get to the point for me because we already knew where it was going. We know this is not real. This is on her head, or she's created a reality, and we're just waiting for the story to catch up. And then once they brought Jimmy Woo in, and is that what his name is?
Jimmy Woo from that played by Randall Park.
Whoops, no. The Asian guy, what's his name? Asian Jim from The Office.
Oh yeah,
The guy,
Jimmy
what's
Woo.
his name? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, him. When he comes in and Monica Rambeau's daughter, I forgot what her name is, they come in, then the story starts picking up, and then we're done. Story's over. It's like, and I hope they don't do that with Daredevil. I hope they keep Daredevil the way it was, where it's like a 45 to 50-minute episodes. Yeah, it's one story, but it's kind of self-contained. Like this episode we're dealing with the Punisher going to court. This episode, Elektra fights the Hand, while still this episode, Wilson Fisk gets out of jail. Like, I hope they keep that intensity up. And I think they'll know that, look, these shows were successful on Netflix. They were very popular. So you want to bring that audience over for Netflix? Go ahead and do it, Booby. I miss when I looked that young at 19, LOL. Hey, Rain, nice to see you.
Yeah, the funny thing is me and her on the same age.
I hope Moon Knight is dark and psychological and not
the reviews came out, and also Kevin Feige said himself that it is going to be pushing, like, you have like a couple moments throughout the series that like you look away from the screen because how there's a blood splattering scene, and you look away from the thing and like you see there's a lot of blood.
You guys know the funny Randall Park story about The Office?
Oh, I love the Asian Jim stuff.
So here's the thing. He forgot he did that.
Yeah, he did.
So apparently, like, everyone would be like, Asian Jim. And he thought they were being kind of racist.
Right.
And then someone reminded him, like, oh, don't you remember there was, like, this skit in The Office where you play Asian Jim? He's like, oh, yeah. Like, he had forgotten, and he did not get why everyone kept calling him Asian Jim. It's like, he's done a lot of work. So, like, for him, it was like, Asian Jim? Who's Asian Jim? But then, like, so he told a story on Kimmel, I think, and it's actually pretty funny. He forgot about that, but everyone would be like, it's Asian Jim. And he'd be like,
right.
What?
And, that was one of my favorite cold opens. Also, my other favorite cold open was the when Dwight started the fire.
Oh, yeah.
When it was like chaos.
He's like, Stanley, you can't die. Barack is president.
That show would not. Oh my god! If the kids, the keyboard warriors or whatever you want to call them, saw that show today, they would be like, cancel Steve Carell, cancel John Krasinski, cancel like Jenna Fisher, cancel all of them.
Yeah, all of them. Cancel all of them. Cancel Dwight.
Cancel
Dwight.
Yeah.
Dwight literally said he tried to go visit his relatives, but it was blocked by a Jewish foundation implying that he has relatives from World War II without saying that word. My god!
Well, also, because he's German, and he had and Dwight's Christmas, they legit showed, because they cut out on Netflix and they also cut out on Peacock. That whole episode's cut, for some reason.
See, I hate when they do that.
Yeah. And so they cut that whole episode because of the whole blackface thing. But it's commentary on how stupid the German culture was with that whole thing. And so it's not.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Like, you have to understand the context of the show.
Well, now that we're on this, let's transition into this about actual racism that happened. Jussie SMollet.
Did it really happen?
Oh my god.
Wait,
like Bill Cosby, he's out.
That's the thing. I was just like,
he posted bail and he's out for time served, and I think they're going to appeal. God. And did you see his outburst in court?
Yes, I'm not. He basically was saying if anything happens, it's basically what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. Someone killed him. Basically,
yeah, he's trying to use the LGBT. Like, I could get attacked for being LGBT, which yes could happen. I feel like if someone beats you up, that's not going to be the reason why they're going to beat you up, because like you're only famous
from Empire.
For this. Everyone forgets you're an Empire. Like, you're famous for creating this story. And like the way he acted, and then he put the arm up, like dude, stop it. You're not a civil rights leader doing this.
Yeah,
like Black Panther thing. It's like, stop it, dude.
He is a like, even though like I hate some of the SJWs and stuff, he acts like he's an SJW for what he did.
Oh my god! But there's some people who still support him. They're like, well, what he did,
Yeah, I have my god sister. She is best friends with him, and she posts a bunch about free Jussie and stuff like. I know people who did the hashtag free Jussie. So like, that's the thing that's why I don't talk about the Jussie stuff with them, because that's another thing. Family drama and stuff you don't want to cause. But
dude,
yeah,
that was his sister, and I'm working at Warner Brothers because she played Canary. I'd be like, I might want to change my last name. Like, I don't want to be associated with him. Like, she's his sister. She's gonna have to support him.
Yeah. No,
but like he is still doubling down integrity. That like, oh no, what happened is what happened. The way Dave Chappelle explains it kills me.
Oh my god.
It's like, that sounds like something that I would say. I'm like, oh my god, I died laughing.
It's like the thing is it's the craziest thing. So when it first happened, everyone was like, oh my god, what? Like it was like crazy hysteria. It was like oh my god, it's like Jussie SMollet, the guy from Empire, was attacked randomly during winter in New York
at 2 a.m. by two white Trump supporters in Chicago.
Even though they weren't even Trump supporters, white. They were like there were two brother African,
and they recognized him. They're like, "Aren't you that guy from Empire?" It's like,
right.
You know, like rednecks don't watch Empire; they don't know who he is.
I think
and they're out to rob a black guy in Chicago.
They were to watch Empire for a reason. They'll probably watch it for Taraji P. Henson or Terrence Howard. And once Jussie pops on the screen, they'll probably turn off the TV. They're like, "Nope, done."
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, he got out of jail already. Let me get into the details just real quick. I'm gonna layman's terms. This case sucks. The case is bogus against him, and they released him. That says a lot about what the appellate court thinks of this case. The court's 3-judge panel issued a 2-1 order with Jussie to release Smollett, writing they had never. So basically, they released him on his own recognizance because he doesn't have a criminal record, which has happened. That doesn't mean he's innocent. They're just saying you're posting bail. Go ahead, you can leave. We don't think you're a flight risk. We don't think you're gonna run off to Pakistan or something. You know.
Next thing he does the attack again. He's like, I was tripped and knee.
Could you imagine if he actually got attacked by actual Trump supporters and no one believed him? Like, acting like
he's the boy who cried wolf at this point.
It's like if it actually happened, no one would believe him.
Right. So if it actually happens to him now, no one will believe him unless there's like circumstantial evidence that it actually happened to him. Like, and it wasn't like something planned. Then it's just like he's the boy who cried wolf at this point. So if it does happen to him, they will be like,
I wish we could play the Netflix clip, but we can't. One because of Netflix, but two, the language that Dave uses, we can't have that coming on our show. Yeah,
because
but you know what? Some people still support him, and I'm like, okay. And justice for Jussie SMollet. He's a French actor, an actor from France.
Funny enough is that they, it's like. The whole thing with Jussie Smollett is like
he's famous now. I mean, he's famous.
And the crazy thing is the aftermath of it, though. Like with Empire, you know, it's funny because like you guys seeing like his role cut and like everything, and like it's like one of those things where it's just like give Journey Smollett Bell, who's his sister, who's in the DC playing Black Canary.
Yeah, his sister. Yeah, she's
and
House also.
And the crazy thing is she hasn't spoken out about it at all.
No, if she's smart, she won't. Look, she's his sister. She has to support him morally, but like publicly, I wouldn't, because you're gonna hurt your own career. They're gonna be like, dude, you're crazy. Now you're bringing that to DC Films.
Right.
Nope.
Because she's like, I'm already dealing with crazy at DC Films with some of the stuff that's going on, and I already have something with Warner Brothers which they canceled my show. And not tell us we were ready to shoot this thing. They canceled our show without telling us, and then in favor they gave me a movie, but they're like that's her own work problems she has.
Yeah,
she has her own things to handle. So publicly she's not going to, but I'm sure she's like on the side saying, "Go, brother, go."
Yeah, probably. He's like, "Can you get me into the DC Films?"
That'll be hilarious if his first acting gig after this whole thing is in a DC project.
And he plays Two-Face. Get it? Two-Face.
Because he gets attacked.
Yeah. They threw acid in my face.
They threw acid in my face. Can you see? It's like, no.
Mr. Dash, do you have any proof of this?
Oh,
really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Joss Whedon? No, I'm sure.
I know the co-creator to Empire as well.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I know her too.
I know a lot of people.
But speaking of celebrities acting crazy, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Kanye West.
Oh my god!
Look, I get it. I get it. He was dating the most beautiful, one of the most sexiest women in the world, and his wife gets taken from him by this dude, who is incredibly obnoxious. He needs to be quiet about it. So this is an exchange between these two men, and despite the way that Pete Davidson looks, he's actually being mature in this conversation. So Kanye says, "Happy to see you're out of the hospital and rehab," and he writes, "Same here. He wonders what those places do when you try to get help. You should try it. I'm in LA for the day. If you want to stop being a little internet bitch boy and talk." So Pete is offering him the opportunity to talk.
Right.
There's no shame in having a little help. You'll be so happy and at peace. You have no idea how nice I've been to you despite your actions towards me. I stopped SNL from talking about or making fun of you, which they've wanted to do for months. I've stopped stand-up comedians from doing bits about you because I don't want the father of my girl's kids to look bad out there. I have your back, even though you treat me like shit, because I want everything to be smooth. But if you continue to press me like you have for the past 6 months, I'm going to stop being nice. Look, I feel bad for Kanye. You know, he says, "Look, this is a public dude. I'm not here for pictures and press. My offer stands. I wish you'd man up for once in your life. Let me help you struggle with mental stuff. It's not an easy journey. You have, but anyway, so look, I get why Kanye's upset. The woman he was married to left him. She's with a much younger guy who's kind of off-putting. But sometimes part of being a man is just, and I use the word man, is you just got to you got to let it ride, man. Focus on your music. Focus on your gospel stuff. Making music videos about burying Pete Davidson just makes you look, Yeah,
and as we've talked about before, he posted that video of him. And the thing is, someone knows that the roses that he put in that video this is his love letter to Kim.
Yeah.
Because the roses that he used in the video is the same roses that he gave to her before they divorced. And so,
wait, is Danny Strong the co-creator of Empire? Is that who he's talking about?
I think so.
Oh, because Danny Strong was in Buffy as a character, and he did write. Okay, I know who Danny Strong is.
Because Lee Daniels and Danny Strong.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, never mind. I didn't even get caught off guard. I didn't know it was Danny Strong. I know Danny Strong. Yeah, he was kind of sort of like kid who get picked on in Buffy. So.
Yeah, because it first was Lee Daniels, and then Danny Strong came in because he worked with Fox before. Or was it Fox? Yeah, I think Fox. But yeah, it's the Kanye Kim Pete Davidson thing is one of those things where it's like Kanye is acting out of as a child who doesn't know how to use the internet, and then Pete is as we see in that conversation, he's being nice to him, saying he's supporting him, and that he does not want to make Kanye look bad, especially if his current girlfriend is daughter's father is looking bad for himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't want any other.
Yeah, I mean, it's just look. And here's the thing with Kim Kardashian. I respect her and everything, but you do know she's the type of girl that's been married multiple times. She got married to a basketball player and then divorced him. That's her life. She can do that. But you're with her for a long time. You have kids with her, and it sucks that this happened to you. That things didn't work out with you. But you're just making yourself look bad, man. You're just making yourself look so desperate, and you already have another girl that you say is better, but then you're still talking about this. And I guess maybe it's the hood in him. He feels disrespected, which I do get, because it's very public and everyone's joking about it and everyone's making fun of Kanye. Take that anger and put it in your music and make some good music. That song "Easy" is a good song, but I could have done without the with Pete Davidson's. I mean, I know, but
another thing is also it's just
oh my god!
Yeah, because
you got that right because his dad was killed on.
And
that's kind of where we like a jive with Jack.
The crazy thing is that it's funny how Pete Davidson is the only that's being civil, right now.
And by the way, no big, but she's gonna dump him at some point. If anyone thinks that these two are gonna be happily married or something.
The thing is that he was Ariana Grande's backup after, of course, Mac Miller and her broke up, and of course after Mac Miller's passing as well. He was. I think Pete Davidson was Ariana Grande's second love of her life. You know, they were. It was Mac Miller was the love of her life, and I believe that was her soulmate.
Yeah.
That's like well renowned around the whole thing is that Mac Miller and Ariana Grande were soulmates.
Mhm.
The second person I believe was Pete Davidson, and that was her. It was a transition love. It was the transition love interest, love of her life. It wasn't like the one that maintained to be her love of her life for the rest of her life. It was that moment. So he's that person to be that person to transition to the better.
They call it a bounce, or what is it called? A rebound.
A rebound. But he's fine as a rebound. He doesn't care. He's the rebound of people because he knows because now Ariana Grande is like married to someone, and he knows that every relationship he leaves, they go to someone that he knows is better for them.
Pardon me. Yeah.
And so that's the good thing about Pete Davidson. He's humble in relationships. He doesn't care about if you break up with he's like, you broke up with he's like, I get it, I understand.
It happens. Look, breakups suck, but the hardest thing is to keep your composure.
Yeah.
And don't do anything emotional afterwards. That's the worst thing you can do. And Kanye is an emotional guy. That's part of his passion. It's part of the reason I love him, why he makes good music. But you're just making yourself look bad, man. Go to church, say your prayers, get through it spiritually, get to a better place, keep your mouth quiet until then. That's what I'm saying.
And the thing about Pete Davidson is that, as we say, he keeps the composure, and because he already knows how his heart has been broken because his father's passing, and he's already depressed. He's clinically depressed. He has clinically depression, so he understands his own life. So he's like, I understand what I'm going through. I don't need to put more emotional damage onto myself.
Yeah,
that's why he keeps
the adult thing to do, and Kanye should know that, being the older person,
Yeah, to not put more emotional damage onto others and yourself. That's what you shouldn't do in breakups and new relationship stuff. Yeah. That's that's why I think people Pete Davidson's this ugly guy and stuff. But I think the only reason
he is, but that's okay.
Yeah. But I think it's not just that. I think it's his personality and his the thing about
he comes off as obnoxious.
But he knows himself. He knows who he is, and he already has his self-discovered moment. Yeah. He knows who he is. He doesn't need more self-discovery. He knows who he is, and he's young, and he's gonna have his own thing coming up. So
let's see how it plays out. We'll be covering it. I got my finger on the outro button, but that was a good show today. I'm glad to be back. No more Percocet.
It's
boy, man, that stuff knocks you out. If everyone knows the story of the Percocet, that was pure accident. I did not know it.
Your dad gave you 2.
I blame my father because he gave them to me. He's like, "Oh, your next parent, try take 2 of these." I'm like, "Ew." Today we have Poindexter Lounge joining us. I think I said something like that. So okay, so get Pete and Ye in a ring. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh.
We talked about it earlier, but listen, I will say this, just to be olive branch to the Snyder fans. I posted this stuff too, because I can get why we feel this way. Zach posted this on 2/14. It looks like it says Justice League 2. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he's saying I want to do Justice League 2. Possibly. So much drama behind the scenes. Gal Gadot posted that, and Joe Manganiello changed his Twitter picture to this. So, there is a lot of hope. Don't lose hope. I have hope that it could still happen. All I'm saying is I don't think that this delay in film happened because of Snyder. I think there are other factors, but it could help Snyder. It's an opportunity for them to, as they're transitioning and taking over Warner Media and merging, they might look at the numbers and say, you know what, let's talk about Justice League 2. Enough time has passed. And right now, the bad taste of the Whedon film and the 2016 BVS is out of people's mouths. People want something new. They want something interesting. And, Let's give them Justice League 2. Let's give them, and hey, they might even do it theatrical. You never know. Or let's do it on HBO Max. I think that is entirely there. So I think Caden had to step away, so I'm going to close out the show. Oh, yeah, Snyder wants to do it, and I want Snyder to do it. And Snyder knows that I want Snyder to do it. And Snyder knows that I know that Snyder knows that I know. We all know that. But I have a lot of hope. Keep the hope. Keep the faith. I have my intro ready for when the Snyderverse is restored, and I think it will happen. The game wants smoke with Eminem. Oh, okay. Yeah. That song is dope because I love that original Eazy-E song called Easy Does It. He was once a thug from around the way. Easy. But I want to thank everyone for being here today. Tomorrow night, Sci-Fi Center. Then Saturday, Mad Max. He's doing his thing Saturday nights at 9. And, of course, we have the Midnight Lounge every night. Poindexter Enosh will be hosting that. And then on Monday, we'll have if you're a Star Trek fan, and right now it's a great time to be a Star Trek fan, whether you like Discovery or you don't like Discovery or you like Picard. We got Star Trek Strange New Worlds coming out. I mean, there's a lot of Star Trek out there. Check out 10 Forward on Monday evenings with Brian, Master of None. Definitely check it out. And then, of course, come back here on Tuesday, and we'll be here for you. We're definitely still talking Snyder. We're definitely going to be talking about the Batman. I still haven't even talked about Doctor Strange yet. There's a lot of stuff coming out. I want to thank everyone who has been here. My birthday's tomorrow. Maybe maybe while I'm drunk at the club tomorrow night, I might just jump on the Midnight Lounge and be like, hey, you guys, just crash the show, ruin, and then get fired by Enosh the following day. But guys, if you're drinking today for St. Patrick's Day, happy St. Patrick's Day. Please drink responsibly. If you're going out, get an Uber. Please don't drive. I want to thank you guys for being here. Remember, folks, Jiving with Jack. It's not just, thank you. It's not just a brand. It's a lifestyle.
Get jiving.
And I forgot to end the broadcast. This is what we call the post-credit scene. All right, guys. Thank you for the birthday.